Hello, here we are again with another Saturday Night Live Zoom Q&A. Um, we had a time change. When was it? Last Saturday night. So maybe that's why somebody was confused on the board. They said they went on an hour earlier. Um, but anyway, we've had a time change here in Toronto area.
Different countries also change at different times,
Different
right?
times, yeah. We went an hour back. Fall back, spring forward. Yeah, that's it. So Judith, you had a question, you said?
Yeah, it's more about the food than the fast. So, you know, I found it a little bit strange when people say I'm allergic to bananas or I'm allergic to fruits, any kind of fruits, because for me, just I can't get it. How can you be allergic to something that's from nature? Do you have any idea what is the reason why people can get some reaction to?
There's many factors that could affect that type of reaction when they eat fruit. One is the pesticides, could be a big one. If the fruit is grown with pesticides, that could be more of the problem than the fruit itself. And if it's not the pesticides and the fruit is nice and ripe and fresh, as we know, fruit does have some cleaning power. And a very backed up GI tract, lymphatic system, you put some, fresh ripe fruit into the body, it'll start having a little bit of cleaning reaction. So they're interpreting it as, allergy or reaction or whatever. But really the fruit is just trying to clean up. And usually, GI tracts are so backed up on people, you'd bring in anything that helps clean a little bit. You start getting a little bit of fermentation and stuff happening, the backed up lymphatic system and so on and so forth. So these are some of the things that can happen. To somebody to actually be an allergic to a fruit, I don't think it's possible. Myself.
Many people start allergic and then they become able to eat the fruit, no problem. And also another thing is the ripeness of the fruit. Many people don't know how to eat fruit properly. So the ripeness, another one is the food combining. And the other one is when the body is backed up, which is most people, then the fruit is going to ferment. That's why many people, not necessarily allergic to fruit, but some people who go into paleo and keto, they say, I don't like to eat sugary fruits because I don't feel good. And that's because it's fermenting inside. And plus, as I said, the food combining is a big one. And pesticides, but I don't see the pesticides as the biggest problem. Maybe fruit ripeness. Most people don't know how to eat the fruit at the right time. But the pesticides...
Like there's, we have mangoes from all over the world. First time we've seen some Aussie mangoes here, hard as a rock. Like I don't know how people can not only the Aussie ones. There's ones from Brazil. They're like literally hard as a rock. I really don't know how people eat these things. I just don't understand. Like,
when people laugh at me, with the ripe fruit, they're like, your fruit it's nearly off. How can you eat that?
They think it's off.
Green bananas. I was like, how can you eat a green banana?
Or green mangoes, or
It's funny, like people don't know how to eat fruit. The other thing is, which a lot of people do, especially coming from Italian heritage, they eat their big meals and then they have fruit at the end, like a dessert.
Food combining. Yeah.
That's another thing that can cause a reaction.
And pesticides, honestly, like I see, the pesticides as not a huge problem. Of course, you want to clean up the fruits as much as you can. Like we don't care to buy organic at all. I mean, if it's there and it's, a good price, we would buy it, but we would wash everything with ozonated water, right? We ozonate everything. I mean, I picture this,
I wouldn't eat conventional fruits and veggies without ozonating. It's like the grapes. You can't eat them. They're just so much spray. But when you ozonate them, it's completely different.
Yeah, it neutralizes 98% of the pesticides and chemicals. Maybe that's why we don't feel them. Maybe that's why. But in general, I think the best way to know whether a food is good for you or not is to fast and break your fast with that food.
Yeah.
Maybe not for a long time, not very long fast.
Yeah.
If you fast and then break your food, let's say with organic rice versus ripe bananas, or okay, maybe ripe like watermelon, mangoes, whatever, something juicy.
Mm-hmm.
It's a huge difference. It's a huge difference. One is obstructive and the other one is not. So I see it as like in terms of which food is best for you, I see it as, is it obstructive or is it not? The level of obstruction of the food. And then, if you can afford organic, go for it, but definitely always wash it properly if you can.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is, I think, I see it also, just like gluten allergy, some people, two girls, sisters, they eat the same food. One is allergic and one is not. I mean, they're kids, my cousin, for example, they're kids. One is allergic to gluten and one is not. And they're eating the same food, more or less, right?
Yeah.
Now, one is more sensitive than the other. And I believe this has to do with the level of toxicity in the person. So the more toxic a person, the less they can handle toxins, like, for example, pesticides, maybe,
Mm-hmm.
So the more toxic, the more you will feel it. And the more pure you are, the more you will feel it as well.
Oh, yes. I just came back from a little trip of crazy vegan food. I went to hell, physically, mentally. I was feeling like everything, like especially gluten. I don't even know why I went that far, but yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes,
I think like you were saying when I was in London, you have to experience it. The postmaster of us, you can't just fight, because I was just fighting, like to go back on master fast. But your body and then your journey just need to be like, you have to go to that process.
Yeah, like you have to follow.
Yeah. And then I felt like really, really bad. When I was in London, I was like, okay, I'm gonna be in Australia, like tropical fruit. I'm gonna go back on a master fast. 2 months.
Well,
2 months of eating even worse than I was doing in London. And then I really had to go, like, you were said, like, when you say enough, it's enough. I really had to go to that stage to be like, okay, this is it. I just can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
So, and then you say, like, you can really feel everything. At some stage I was getting gluten stuff. I was vegan, but still with gluten. I was like, oh God. Like, my body went, my belly went like a pregnant lady, but like in less than 10 minutes. Yeah.
And the other thing we've talked about before, Judith, about living a kind of fruitarian lifestyle with unripe fruit, not going to succeed. Nobody's going to succeed. There's just no way.
No.
Like, you can eat hard as a rock mangoes. How much of that can you eat? Like, you start eating that. I honestly, I don't know how people can eat that type of fruit. Yeah. It's just not edible.
But you don't feel satisfied when you eat like unwrapped fruit. You feel like, okay, I just need a little bit more and a little bit more, and I'll just keep trying to.
Yeah. I feel, I mean, we are in Canada, and I feel it's not hard to do raw food if you want to do raw food. I don't see it hard still.
No, we can find some ripe fruit.
Like, yeah.
But it's not, sometimes like it's challenging, but.
Yeah, like today we went to the grocery store, and there were like maybe 4 different types of mangoes, and they're all unripe except for one, and it's from Brazil, right? I mean, we smelled it, I'm like, oh, this looks good, So different types of mangoes, you see them sometimes, and but 1 of 4 were ripe. Like, I mean, 1 of 4 different types were ripe.
Yeah.
So you can find in Canada, but also not any grocery store. This is an Asian market. And they have
all the small ones, all the Asian or the Indian, or the Pakistanis, they're the best. I found for when it comes to fruits.
Yeah.
And it's so It's much tastier actually as well than the big supermarkets, and cheaper as well at the end, I found, for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, well,
no, there's no comparison.
We're paying not for organic. Regular mangoes, it could cost you anywhere from $3 to $6 for one mango, depending on how big they are or more. Like the price is gone insane over here. It's just insane. Like, you know, just maybe 3 years ago, you can pick up mangoes less than $1 each. Like, it's just gone crazy, the prices.
A good thing we're eating one day a week, you know. Wow. Although I did fall off, and this is my second year falling off, but I'm getting back, and definitely it's not going to be every day of eating. It just doesn't work. There's no way. Yeah. I was thinking I'm going to do just master fast, full master fast, but then I was like, am I ready to give up food? You know, like I keep asking myself that question. And and I decided, okay, get back on one day a week. So enjoy the food. Yeah, I want to enjoy the food for some time before I give it up. Maybe it's too early, but it's really confusing. You know, it's really confusing. I don't know. I mean, one day a week is definitely way more than enough. It's more.
Yeah, but it's kind of like teasing your body as well, because I remember when I finished my 108 days last December, I was able to do one day a week for nearly 2 months, or it's a month and a half. Then after that, I started to eat a little bit and a little bit, and then
it's easier to fall on master fast weekly than it is on full master fast.
Yeah,
because you're teasing your body by eating one a week.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's tricky.
It all depends. Everybody's gonna find something that they can resonate with.
Even a few days a week.
Be different for everybody, but the key is that you maintain that dry fasting as much as you can. That's real key to reset the body. When you slack off on the dry fasting, you'll get more into trouble if you don't have those resets. So that's the big key, you know. And then people, they start falling off, they go back to drinking water, and they start the vicious cycles again. It's, you know, number one is fresh, ripe, and hopefully if you can get local fruit is your best option to be able to succeed in that fruitarian lifestyle. And if you can't find, you know, those types, you go to the botanical fruits, the other categories, non-sweet, cucumbers, zucchini, peppers, tomatoes, et cetera, eggplants, squash, pumpkins. There's so much stuff you can go to and try and succeed that way. That would be better than going into all the foods that we need to stay away from.
Yeah.
You know,
I should have tried the cooked fruit. I didn't try it.
Yeah.
And then a few times on the videos, and then even on a post, you've been recommending for the post master fast, if you want something like cooked or warm, maybe to go to cooked fruit. I think I tried the bananas when I was in London, but it was really dry. It was extremely dry, and then it was not much flavor. So I don't know if you, how do you make them when you do the plantain? Do you add anything or?
You can, if you want. You can put a little maple syrup or whatever.
It's sweet, right? It is very sweet.
Yeah, they become sweet when you bake them. If it's dry, was it unripe a lot when you baked it?
Yeah, no, it was ripe. It was really ripe, but I don't know. I didn't enjoy it. But here, I tried from a friend of mine who actually made it for me. Figs. It was delicious, and I was like, "Wait, I didn't try that."
Yeah, there's
I'm very satisfied. It was really. She didn't add anything on it, so
she cooked it.
Yeah, she cooked it. Yeah.
How did she cook it?
She cooked it with I think it was with water, and she added I can't remember with juice, but like a fruit juice that she just made juice.
Yeah. You can.
That was delicious, really, really good.
Yeah, you can bake them. You can steam them.
You can make a jam too, right?
Yeah, there's many ways you can do it. Plantain, I haven't done those in a long time. Last plantain, I don't even remember the last one. But there's many things you can play with. Like we say, if you can stay on the raw, it's always the best. If you can stay on raw, and when you go into the cooked, because the cooking process brings it to higher order, not kills it like people think. It is full of high energy packets, and that's why it's so addictive. But the problem is the obstructive nature, especially under the veggie side or anything else, away from the fruit. You know, as we're going away from the fruit, we get more and more obstructive. And when we cook it, the energy packets are higher in plasmatic side, but the physicality is more obstructive. On the fruit, even though it's cooked, we don't see the obstructive nature going up a lot. It's probably a little more, but the trade-off is that, you know, you're going to be able to succeed in, on a fruitarian diet or not with a little bit of cooked fruit versus having no ripe fruit. You're not going to succeed at all. It's just not going to happen. So many people have went to fruitarianism and fell off and went back to meat eating and this, that, and the other thing, or even from veganism. They just can't, you know, find this and succeed in those diets. Number one is they're not able to get the proper foods to maintain themselves. And number two, a lot of them don't even fast and don't know how to fast and don't know what true detoxification is. So the body is constantly working through obstructions in that, what we call that vacuum plasmatic tube. And that's where all the challenges start in physicality. So once we start cleaning that up, everything starts changing, as we've seen. And then your senses awaken, all your senses. And when you go off track, you really feel what that feels like.
And another thing is the fat, because, you know, many people who eat raw food eat also high fat, right?
That's a big problem. Fat is very addictive, very stimulating, and very obstructive.
Like the oils, the flax seeds, and the nuts and seeds.
The average raw foodist would eat more fat than a fat eater. You know that, right?
But you know, there are many people who follow very clean raw food as well, which is high fruit, low fat.
The average, all the years I've been on raw food, it's a whole lot of fat, oils, avocados, nuts, seeds, you know, all the fats.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's hard to. It's hard to eat a salad. Like when I made a salad the other day, 2 weeks ago, I made a salad, 2 big salads, and I took them to my sister. I did not put one drop of oil. There was no salt, and they ate. But you know, they liked the other food, which is like meats and fats and oil and salt. I mean, it's good. My sister she likes to cook fresh stuff, but they are more attracted to that food than the salads. So the salads were left, you know, like nobody ate them, and I felt so bad. I was like, they don't eat like us, you know. They don't. Most people will not eat these salads.
As you know, once you start eating raw foods, you acquire more and more of a taste for the raw foods.
Yeah, when your body's cleaner too, right?
Yeah, and you go back to cooked, you want more cooked because it's so addictive, that those high energy packets, they're very addictive. And you know, it's best to avoid it if you can. You know, if you're able to control yourself and like have a really, you know, rarely, once or twice a month, main diet is fresh and raw, you'll be doing fine. The thing is that people get into the cooked and they want more and they want more and they want more and they want more and they want more. So if you can't control yourself, it's best to stay away from it and make the raw side of the eating work for you.
Yeah, even if you overeat a salad with like no oil and not like very clean salad, it's still much easier on your body than overeating grains or, you know, something obstructive or oils. And yeah, it's much easier. So it's okay. I tell people, you know, this lifestyle is about abundance. It's not about restriction. But maybe what we can do when we are eating is limit the feeding window, and have stick to the dry fasting window for sure. If you want to eat every day, or if you want to eat a few days a week, limit the feeding window and increase the dry fasting window. Many people succeed doing that.
Yeah. When we eat, we must be satisfied. And that's a big factor. If you're eating and you're not satisfied, you're going to look for other things to eat that you normally wouldn't eat. And that's the key. And that's why we keep saying, if you can't find fresh ripe fruit, how you gonna maintain a fruitarian lifestyle? Like seriously,
dried fruit.
It's not gonna happen. Yeah. It's the dried fruit. You can't thrive on dried fruit.
Like dates.
Well, dates are not. That's a different category of fruit.
They're the only fruit that ripens on the tree. Dates. Dates are the only fruit that ripens on the tree.
What are you talking about? All fruits ripen on the tree.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like if you buy raisins, usually they're dried, like by humans, right?
That's not. No.
But the dates are the only ones, like they pick them dry from the tree. Do you know that?
Well, I don't know. There's different types of varieties of dates and so on and so forth, but fruit ripens on the tree, not off the tree. Bananas one of the few that ripens.
Dry.
Oh, dry on the
dry,
not ripen. Yeah, you can dry them off the tree, of course. But the olives we were getting in Italy, they were, ripening right on the tree. They were drying. They were just amazing olives.
Yeah, sun dried.
When you eat a sun dried olive that's dried on the tree, there's nothing like it. Nothing.
Yeah,
the closest ones are the Peruvian olives that they sell. They charge an arm and a leg for them.
But they are still not like the Italian ones that I have.
Well, just different varieties.
Yeah. The Italian ones were sweeter. Like there's something different.
There's so many different varieties of olives. Yeah. Each fruit's got like anywhere from 400 to 600 or more varieties. Grasses, I think there's 9,000 varieties of grasses on the planet. It's just insane. So there's abundance of everything. What we see in the regular supermarkets is a fraction of what's out there on the planet in varieties of different fruits and veggies and so on and so forth. But the key for eating is we must be able to satisfy ourselves with the food that we're eating, or we're not going to stick with it. So in the window of everything that we can eat, there's lots there. You're going to have to sort out what's going to work for you and maintain that and keep the dry fasting schedule always. Keep the bowels moving. If they don't move, wash them out. I'd rather have people doing enemas every day the rest of their life instead of their bowels being backed up and not going every 2 or 3 or 4 days. I'd rather see somebody doing enemas because once everything starts backing up, you get into the problems again, right? So the key is keep things moving all the time. And this is why having a schedule of dry fasts to give the digestive system a break from eating 7 days a week, you're going to back up. Even if you eat just fruit, you're eating 7 days a week, you're going to back up. I don't care how good your bowels move. The body needs rest. The digestive system, needs rest. The eating thing, it's all up for debate. I don't think we were all meant to eat physical foods, but everyone's got different belief systems. We don't want to go there. It's possible to live without food. People are doing it. And doing it, we're doing it part-time anyway. Some of us are doing it more than others. So, we got animals like a bear. They're doing it 6-7 months a year. Huge animal, massive animal. Only eats 5-6 months a year. It's massive. What is it? Yeah, it sleeps for that rest of the time. So, these are the things that we have to work out and be able to come to terms on what our belief system is comfortable with, and our trust level, in depending on how much food we believe we need.
Another thing I like to suggest is, if you're eating 1 day a week, I guess eating within 12 hours, you would be fine. But when, let's say you want to eat 6 days a week, I would suggest that you really limit your feeding window. Like maybe eat within maybe a maximum of 6 hours, because otherwise it's just, you're going to be addicted. The more you eat, the more you will want to eat. Many people who do intermittent fasting, even with like paleo or whatever, any other diet, they say I have much less cravings when I eat within a certain number of hours, like 6 hours. Some people do one meal.
These are obstructive foods. You eat a few avocados, you're numbed out. You don't get hungry.
Yeah, for sure.
You eat fruit, it's a different story.
But also when you limit your feeding window, you increase your even liquid window, right? Like drinking window. People definitely have less cravings. I mean, I see it with my clients who eat anything, like more like paleo. Many people do paleo these days, and they eat within 6 hours, and they're like, I love this lifestyle because they don't feel hungry so much anymore. So for us, if you're having cravings, I would suggest that you increase your drinking window and dry fasting, and limit your feeding window if you want to do 6 days a week. But if you want to do 1 day, I don't see it as a big problem. 1 day a week is no problem to eat within 12 hours. Yeah.
And sorry, just have a quick question with the juice, because I'm back on my fast finally after falling, I don't know how many times. I stopped counting. But the juice this time is really, really, it tastes like extremely sweet. I'm getting a hard time to just drink even 2 liters. Doesn't mean like I'm just really, really backed up, like really bad.
You let us know in a couple of weeks. A lot of people have went through that cycle where it feels so sweet, and then a few weeks later, they like the juice again. Did the juice change? If they're on the same juice. No, the juice doesn't change. So yeah.
I didn't have that experience for my first 180 days.
Is it different juice?
It is a different juice, but this one is actually organic. And then it's made from here in Australia as well. The other one was the Welsh one from London that everybody drinks. So yeah, the other one was I found like the Welsh one, the one in London, was able to taste at the end like it's not like whatever I would say, maybe some chemical inside. Like I can really feel like it's like a clean one. This one I can taste that it's really clean, but it's really, really sweet. But it's 100%. And I'm getting a hard time to even drink 2 liters because it just doesn't go down. And I used 2 lemons in this one.
Yeah, the lemons help.
In 1 liter.
Cranberry, you can try if you want something sour, because this is what I drank today. I just didn't feel like drinking the grape juice. So I had cranberry and I diluted it with pineapple. I love pineapple. So I put cranberry and pineapple because cranberry is way too strong. Yeah,
I tried cranberry by itself. It's really hard to drink.
Yeah, when you're having a hard time, dilute them with other juices. It does slow down the fast a bit, but it's better to be able to maintain and stay on.
Cranberry is very strong. I feel it's even like more pulling than the grape juice. It's very, very astringent. Very astringent. That's why it helps the kidneys. But yeah, I mean, when you dilute it, the pineapple juice that I have is diluted, not 100% pineapple.
Yeah.
So it has some water.
Okay.
I'm just wondering if Judith's having the same juice as me. I think you're having the same one that I done
now. I remember you told me about it. Yeah,
which is really lovely. And I've got the Canberry juice from Aldi, which is only about $2.50, and I put that in there because sometimes I can handle the taste, and then sometimes I feel like I needed. The Canberra, you are right, Rana. It does pull more stuff out. Yeah, and I really like it because it just takes that edge off it. But it is such a pure grape. It's a beautiful grape. Like it's strong and very sweet.
Yeah, you see, everybody goes through cycles of changing the taste, but the juice is the same.
Yeah. Mm. When I first tasted it, I had no issue. I didn't have any problems. But then I don't know, your mind comes into things.
Oh, yeah, it's the mind, nothing but the mind.
Yeah. And you go, oh, this is really boring having, grape juice and lemon all the time. But then I got the cranberry because it is quite expensive, the juice. That juice is quite expensive here. And, and I'm thinking, being frugal, you try and budget, well for it. And then I went to Aldi, it's about $2.39 or 49 for the Canberry juice, and it's 2 litres, and I just put that in it. And they've got another one there. They've got another berry or dark. I haven't got it yet, but there's another one there that they've got. But that's cheapest actually, because they don't have it at any of the Coles or the Woolworths, the Canberry, or they probably have it there, but they're a bit more expensive. But I don't know.
Yeah, thank you. I will try that actually. I think I went to Aldi like last week, but I couldn't find anything. But they was running out of juices. But maybe I can try that one. But I like the grapes one. I found for me it's better. I follow better protocol if I keep the same. Then if I start to mix it and change, I just get kind of want to try something else and then add other things. So I want to keep with the grape juice, but this one, I find it's really, really, really sweet for me.
Sweet, it is, yeah. Yeah. And it is a mind game. I didn't have any problems with it at the beginning. And then the mind just comes in and goes, oh. Yeah,
I love the sweet. When I was in Italy, I was buying the grape syrup and adding it to the grape. It's cooked down.
Oh, wow.
It's cooked down grape till it becomes a syrup. In Italian, they call it miraguto, cooked wine. So it's just grape juice cooked right down into a syrup. And they have all different ones that you can get. Pomegranate, they have fig, they have grape. You can probably find all kinds of fruit syrups. If you want to kick it up, add those to your juices. For more pulling power, because they're really cooked down for hours to get into syrup. Yeah. Just like the maple syrup, it's many, many hours of cooking to get it into a syrup, right? It comes out of the tree as the water, and then they cook it and boil it down, and it comes to a syrup. So, you can do that.
I feel it's so much, like you said, Ranjit, that it's mind game. Big time.
Yeah.
For me, at least, yes, of course, I want to change the grape juice, but that's not because I don't like it. I love it. But it's just, I get bored. I feel sometimes I break the master fast because I got bored. Life is so simple. It's crazy. I want to.
It's too good.
People complicated. Everything's too simple.
It is too simple. You are right, Gino. It's so right. It is so simple. And I'll send some mangoes down to you, Judith, because you should come up to Queensland.
I'm planning to go to you. I'm planning, but I'm just waiting for my visa situation to get set up properly.
They will ship our fruit overseas, as you know. They ship it all, and Warren's loving the mangoes up here, and just come up here, and obviously you can probably go to the farmers markets and things like that. Hey, you've got an Australian contingency here, Gino, and love to every one of you, Judith and Robbie and SK.
You have to
and
masterclass. Australia masterclass. Retreat.
We're keeping you up.
Yeah.
But I've got 50,000 questions as usual.
It's okay. The mangoes that came from Australia we've seen, they were the first time I've ever seen them. They were huge. They were massive. They're like, almost the size of a head. But they weren't ripe, so I couldn't get to taste them because...
We had ones the other day, right?
Not from Australia.
Not Australia? Mm.
Well, then you should have gone to your Punjabi Indian friends because they would make mango pickle out of it. They'll slice it up and they make mango fermented pickle.
Amazing.
Oh, is that what they do?
Yeah. My mum makes. She's got jars of it at home, so they have it with their roti and their curry, and that's the fermented thing they have. Yeah.
I guess that's another way you can do it.
You can also cook them, I guess, right, and make a syrup or something.
Yeah.
They become sweeter.
Hopefully we see another batch that's ripe. Are they ripe down there now? Are it's mango season?
Yeah. In Australia, I tray for $25. A tray of, I think it's about 18 mangoes or something. $25.
That's a good price.
Bowen mangoes. Yeah.
Margaret, are you listening? Just came to my mind about the cataracts. Yeah. Have you tried castor oil in your eyes, Margaret, if you're listening? That's helped people with cataracts, as well as the washes with the herbs. Can't hear you. I can't hear you, Margaret. Hello? No, there's something wrong with your audio, Margaret. Can't hear her. Hello, Margaret?
Can you hear me?
Oh, now we can, yep.
Oh, I had to plug in. Oh, yeah, castor oil packs I started when I started 108.
No, I mean, put castor oil drops right in your eye, like one drop.
Right in the, yes, that's what I did for like, I was on the 3rd month
And
every night.
And no changes?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I go for surgery on December 28th, so
Okay.
there's astigmatism in there too, so I got double whammy.
Yeah, well, that's a lot of digging needs to be done to reverse that. Have you been doing any castor oil packs on the liver?
Oh, yes, I did. Yeah, I'm still doing those.
Okay, great. Keep it up. Just came to my mind, thought, because anytime we can assist and support, we do that. But you know, these things go back many, many years. It's not going to change overnight. It's going to take whatever it takes. But I know it's a bit of a challenge, and you know that you're having, and you got to do what you need so you can feel comfortable and continue.
I was thinking of doing turpentine on my kidneys to see if I can get them filtering better.
Yeah, you can try that. You can mix it in with the castor oil packs a little bit. You don't need much of it.
Yeah, I was doing castor oil on my kidneys too.
Yeah, you can do 3 days of liver, 3 days kidneys, 3 days liver, 3 days kidneys, because the rule of thumb for that from Edward Casey over 100 years ago is 3 days on, 3 days off, 3 days on, 3 days off, and you continue.
He also recommended a turpentine on the kidneys. Yep. I went down to ARE, spent a whole week, 2 weeks down there.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Nice.
1980.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, he left many remedies. The Sleeping Prophet.
Yeah.
Who do we have?
What kind of eye drops could I really use? Because I'm sure they would love me to do castor oil in my eyes. But
what do you mean?
The doctors, they recommend this stuff from the drugstore.
Oh, you mean after the surgery?
For eye drops now, before the surgery.
Oh, you use the herbal formula.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's what I would use. Well, I don't know what their stuff. It's got all kinds of stuff in there.
Got mineral oil in it.
Mineral oil?
Like mineral oil, yeah. Essence of mineral oil.
Okay, well, mix a drop of castor oil packed with the herbs.
Yeah. Also, another question I wanted to ask. If we're working with a plasma field, why couldn't you use homeopathy in a tincture form?
You can assist with those if you like, but the way they're made and how they work with different people, I have not seen them have the power that the tinctures do through spirit, through alcohol.
Okay.
Some homeopaths, they preserve them in alcohol, some of them in sugar, and what's the other stuff they use? I can't remember. But for what we're doing in a long fast and assisting the body in removing all these stubborn obstructions, I have not seen anything work better than alcohol tinctures myself. The homeopaths, they have a purpose. I don't see the effects of them as powerful enough myself. Just not there. But you can assist. You can assist with them. You can add anything in the herbology world to assist. But there's many people using homeopaths around the world through naturopathic doctors and homeopathic doctors, et cetera, et cetera. You're only going to get so far, but when you're using tinctures, I've seen what happens fast people with tinctures and without. That's why I don't have nothing to do with anybody but doing the protocol with everything that we have for support, because there's a night and day difference. And we're going in places of detoxification very deep, especially when you go on the long MFS. We're going for these long, we're stripping and stripping and stripping layers. We need all the help we can get. And it's just the tinctures are where the magic happens. Have you tried homeopaths yourself?
No, because I have always done the tinctures. Yeah. And I found out, if anybody wants to know, Dr. Morris Herb's tinctures are really weak compared to yours. And Dr. Schultz had a stronger one. He's out in California, that I was taking years ago. And it's like 10 times the strength of Dr. Morris. And then yours are even stronger.
Yeah.
Good herbalist.
Tinctures on the market out there's so many different dilutions. The ones I've went to research out there, they're very diluted. And so when we decided to get some tinctures done, I wanted to make sure they were the best we could possibly make. You can't pull out any more strength out of the herbs than what we have. I don't think it's possible. So, it makes a difference when you have something that has some power in it. And we have a unique infusion process. So I don't think there's many people on the planet who know about doing that way. But one of the keys with herbs is have a huge variety of them. And the other way is to be very simple with them. I like to go with a lot of variety and have help from many, many, many different spirits and synergize their efforts together. That's the way I like to do it. Dr. Morse is one of the main catalysts and influences for that with herbs. He's a master herbalist, but we just have different approaches of what we're doing. We're looking at fields of things versus they're focusing more on the eating and the matter side of things. I've played with the eating for many years, and for myself, I only was able to get so far. When you start fasting, everything changes. When you stop the digestion and use the herbs, they just really do their magic, as we've seen over and over with so many people.
Especially the dry fasting.
Yeah, when you start doing them on dry fast, whoa, another awakening. You don't need much. You don't need much of them when you're on a dry fast. It's really.
Oh, that's another question. When you're on a dry fast, can you do the kidney potass or the kidney castor oil packs on the liver and all that stuff while you're dry fasting?
You can, because like we say, we don't go by theory, we go by results. Like people say, it's not a dry fast, you're taking tinctures, blah, 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 okay, whatever. We're the people doing MFS are ones getting results. So I don't want to listen to all these other people because they're not getting the results. I've been around this field a long time, and the people that are doing master fast, I've seen magic happen like I haven't seen anywhere else. And I've been at this a long time. And this is why we have so many people coming from all walks of life to master fast, because of the people that are getting the results. I'm talking about the doers, the ones who try and run off. We don't have to worry about them. I'm talking about the people that are actually doing it, living the lifestyle, and the magic just continues to happen.
So when you're dry fasting and you, for example, you have pain in your kidneys, do castor oil.
Yeah.
Like
don't worry about it.
I wouldn't do the dry. I don't see the reason to. We
have in the protocol, if you see, we have the dry, and then we have the dry, wet, and so on and so forth. The semi-dry. We need to train the body of people that can't do long dry fasts to be able to do longer dry fasts, and that's going to take time. It takes weeks, could take months, it could take years for some people. It's a process to metamorphosize the body, and it's not going to happen overnight. So the patience is what most people don't have.
Yeah, absolutely. And even when you do dry, not dry, but just dry, and you're washing your face and castor oil on the kidneys, and it's still very deep. You're still going to feel the pain. It's still very deep. So as long as it's deep, we're happy. You want a deep cleanse once a month, especially.
The key with the magic of dry fasting is clean the GI tract. Yeah. That's the key, which most people miss the boat. People are eating all kinds of diets and dry fasting. Yeah. All that effort of the dry is going towards the gunk in that GI tract. Mm. It's not going to
deeper.
Yeah, what I like to say, accessing the blueprint. Mm. This is where when we're going on these long MFSs, we're getting a really good clean in the GI tract, especially once you start getting up to 50, 60, 70 days. And then you start seeing, that's why, when we're talking about dry fasting, especially for newbies, we're saying, just limit it. Don't go past what we recommend for the start, for somebody starting fasting, because it's just too overwhelming, just too much for people. The body cannot eliminate all these obstructions It's too overwhelming. It's too much.
And the hardest part in the master fast is not going dry. It is to be consistent. It really is. I mean, people who have done long master fasts will tell you the hardest thing is to be consistent on like fasting and clean eating. And if you want just fast, you know, some like there's Marine who's just fasting. Yeah, so that's the hardest part. I mean, so I don't think it's necessary to go too deep, too fast.
Live it, love it. It's a lifestyle.
I mean, I still fall, you know, so I know I'm not ready to give up food completely, although I would love to, because I know I feel my best. But, you know, there's always a fear factor, right?
I did 24 hours this last week.
Awesome. How did it feel?
It wasn't too bad. Yeah, wasn't too bad. And then I kind of got this kind of dizzy feeling, and I thought I better break it after the 48, though. Yeah.
Yeah, little baby steps. You know.
I thought that was enough.
Yeah, the dizziness and stuff. Don't be fearful of it, but be prudent, be wise. You know, get up slowly, get movement happening. You know, I've shared before. I've had dry fasts where I would wake up in the morning and could barely move, just zero, zapped out energy. Like I'm talking about long dry fast, and then just force myself slowly to move around, start moving, start breathing, get into the yoga, and I had some of the best days with those mornings that I could barely get out of bed. Like energy just snapped and it came into abundance. So this is why we like to say, you know, this is not a sleeping fast. This is a movement fast. We want energy to keep moving. And, you know, that monkey mind gets more monkey when you don't move. Well, you know, you're in bed, afraid. You don't got energy, you stay there, and you're going to have more monkey mind happening. So it's better to, you know, force yourself a little bit and get that energy flowing, because that lymphatic system needs to move. And because it's stagnant and full of obstructions, it doesn't have a free flow until we move. But ideally, we get to a state where you've eliminated so much obstructions that lymphatic system will be moving on its own, even with no movement. And that's the state of total bliss, I would think, when you get to that state, because your energy level will be consistent all the time with little or no food. And that's what you know, we can strive to work towards slowly. It's that lymph system that is our energy system. It's not a sewer system, as we've been taught.
Yeah.
The blood system is the actual sewer system.
Margaret, do you have interesting bowel movements after the dry?
Oh yeah. After all the enemas, I have very interesting bowel movements. Yeah.
So it's working.
Yeah. I think the sulfur is coming out because it was kind of. I think that's a sulfur odor.
Yeah, if you smell sulfur, it's sulfur.
Yeah, I think so.
Unmistakable.
Yeah, right.
But so yeah, you just keep peeling those layers as the weeks go by. It's just awesome that you're doing it at your young age. It's awesome.
We are very impressed.
I think you're the top, as we mentioned. I don't think anybody older has been done this long.
Very, very well informed on your own, and you found us, and you know, it's amazing. I mean,
I'm a researcher. For all my life I've been a researcher, so it won't stop. I'm like you too, you know, it doesn't stop.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And the two other ladies there too.
These days for myself, it's not that I completely shun all science. I'll listen to it, but I have a whole different perspective of how I listen to science these days. Because if you really pay attention to what they're talking about, it's nothing to do with spirit at all. If you look at some of the alternative stuff, they go into that quantum and all that, but mainstream science has nothing to do with it. And so I don't want to be messing around with that stuff. I got in trouble already enough trusting that's science.
Yeah, it's lacking, right?
Yeah.
It's lacking something. It's missing definitely the spiritual, the energy side.
Yeah, I think we do better working on the physical for the spirit. Because we're in this state of matter, we work with this. There's many out there that are doing it the other way around, but I see success in people being able to balance themselves out and find more peace in their spirit side when they're doing their physical fasting and so on and so forth. Just working on meditating and all that. A perfect example was Paolo from Italy, who had the headaches for 20-25 years, and he said he was meditating for years and years and years, and he didn't really understand what the meditation was till he did the master fast. So and his partner Gabby as well.
Yeah. It definitely does connect you. Fasting connects you to God much more than anything else.
We're in the physical, and I think we're here to experience this physical, so we work with the physical. I'm not saying it's not possible to do it the other way around. I'm not saying that, but it's for most of us, laymen, simple people like us, we work through the physical, and we can appreciate the spirit much more so in connecting with the soul and all that.
But in every spiritual teaching, there is fasting.
Of course, pretty much, most, yeah. I don't know if every single one, but I don't know them all.
Well, at least every religion, and some of them, all religions, I would say, for sure. Yeah.
It's just awesome to go through all these different experiences and watch people going through the experiences. A lot of fear. When you read people's posts, it's a lot of fear because of the unknown. They have not done, fasts like this before. And it's interesting when they get through it, because everybody comes out stronger, always, unless they fall off and they go do things that we don't really recommend, like eating stuff that's really highly obstructive and stuff after these long fasts. But I haven't seen people get weaker from fasting.
I mean, it's definitely, even if they fall, they have learned something. They have always learned something. Even if they fell, I have fallen many times.
You can get physically weaker, temporary, but the spirit is always strengthened.
Yeah,
and that's the key, because as we're focusing on energy, we're not focusing on the physical.
You're not gonna like to be down for too long. You will want to get up and continue, because you're gonna feel it much more than before. And I mean, as long as you're responsible for what you're doing, and as long as you are, take care. There's no reason to do big mistakes, then
we'll all make mistakes,
fine.
but you can appreciate when your body's cleaned up, how sensitive it is. You can really appreciate it and understand what senses are for. They're there to give you information. And when you look back in your life, and when you lived in that so-called more of a numb state, and you just look back, my goodness, how did I live with no senses before? It's interesting when we look back.
I was very ignorant before. Before even Ralph would walk me up a little bit, and then definitely fasting is another level. But it's like you're numb, you're sleeping, you're depressed, but you cannot do anything about it, and this is life, and you have to deal with it, and you have to go to school even if you don't like school, you have to work even if you don't like your boss, and the whole life was just so weird. And you start making, smarter choices as you clean up. You can't take so much. so much, like, yeah, that's it. Enough is enough, right? It's amazing. Thank God. Really, thank God.
Yeah, it's all fine and dandy that, you know, some of us that we go through these long fasts and then we run into trouble and we blame the fast. It's just the understanding's not there. That's all it is. Of what fasting is. Like I said, I haven't seen many people truly understand what fasting is out there.
I blame it on my head because it's all clogged up. You know, with the cataracts and my brain isn't working right, you know, so all of that's got to clear out, and that's what's causing the dizziness. So then I use an enema quite often just to try to relieve that pressure in my brain.
Yeah, do hot and cold on the back, on the cerebellum. You know,
hot and cold, okay.
Heat. And then,
I haven't. I've just used the burn stick.
Yeah, you can do that too as a massage. But I mean, you can get like a hot water bottle, leave that for several minutes, and then put ice, and then go back to hot. But always end with ice, and see if that helps move. And are you doing neti pot? Get, you know, cleaning the sinuses. That's going to also help. Ear candles. You want to open up the energy in the head.
Yeah, I've been using the neti pot and the ear candles. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
I have 20 more days to go.
Wow. Awesome. So you have your plan now for exiting?
Yeah.
Planned it out? No, I think probably I'll stay on the Master Fast system for a while.
Awesome.
Because I don't have surgery till the end of December, so there's a whole month there. I got to start back with fruit in between time.
Right. Yeah. When you go into for the surgery, they just do local anesthesia on the eye?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. They would, you know, stay on liquids at least, or dry. Go through it dry. Maybe
at least after the surgery, I would dry so it can heal faster.
You get the anesthesia out of you, even if it's local. That stuff there, it doesn't come out of the body until you fast.
Would you suggest that I just dry fast that day?
Yeah, you can. You know,
dry.
Yeah, liquids up until that time. You start your dry before the surgery, and then stay on dry for a little bit, and then stay for liquids for a few more days. Get it out of you quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, the body's going to heal much quicker when you fast. You know, Marvin did 13-day dry fast in the hospital after major lung surgery. No inflammation, healed up very quick. Everybody else with the same surgery was in there 3-4 weeks. And pain and suffering. You know, they were threatening to sue him and all kinds of stuff because he was refusing everything. So
he was on 13 days of dry fasting, wasn't he?
In the hospital.
In the hospital, yeah.
So just it's a challenge when you're working with the system.
Yeah, you're right. Right.
Best to not say nothing.
Yeah, right.
Have your arsenal, you know, take your herbs after, you know, if you want, you know, get things moving out of you. And you'll be fine. What do we have? We have John, SK, David. Hello, guys. Robbie.
Happy belated birthday, John. It was last week, right? A few days ago.
Yeah. So anybody else?
Yeah, sorry, guys. Sorry, I had my thing off. Yeah, it was Wednesday, a couple days ago.
Awesome.
Nice.
All good, though. All good. Happy to be here. I keep forgetting.
1 year younger.
That's right. I wanted to get some wine for my sister, and they wouldn't give me the wine because I didn't have my ID on me. I thought, are you kidding me, right? Come on. She was excited because she got some underage kid trying to get alcohol. It was funny.
Ranjit, you had a question?
Yeah, I just wanted to just let you know what I'm thinking about doing when I break my fast and what I want to do in 2019. So I'm in day 75, I think, but oh, so interesting at the moment. It's just really absolutely fascinating. I mean, I know other people have had experiences, and you know, Judith's done 108, and Margaret, I think you're just absolutely one amazing human being. You're, you know, with your young age, it's just, you're so inspiring. and I'm just having some weird things happening, not weird things, but things that are, you know, I just go every day as it comes. I don't have any expectations, and I just love the experience, and I've surrendered myself from the beginning. And I just find I keep slipping into the bliss zone, and I don't even know it's even happening. So you know, being in the awareness and that, and I know I'm a lot more cleaner. I feel cleaner. I feel lighter. I feel great. But I'll be talking to someone, even now, it just happened, I just switch out. Like I just switch into, and I have to find my way to get back home, back into the body. I don't even know where I go sometimes, but it's really nice. And so I'm finding when I'm communicating socially, it's a real challenge because I have to really focus. You know, here I'm in a fasted state. I haven't been eating, you know. I felt early in the piece in the first week or two was when I had my falls, but I actually haven't had any falls all the way through. I've been very, very strict and determined, and I want to do this. And so when I'm like, I had some family things on. There was Diwali, with Indian Diwali that happens, and I was helping my mum cook and doing all these things. Family are quite supportive, but I just zone out, because as soon as someone's in the 3D conversation, or they're talking about, because they're all seeing my body change, like most of them see me with 20 kilos down in a very short time.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I don't see it. I don't really care. But so then you get those questions, and then I'm trying to answer them through the 3D form for the level of understanding. And I laugh so much because, like, one of my older sisters said, oh, the reason why you've lost so much weight is because you have a hyperactive thyroid, and I don't even know what that is, and you're premenopausal. So I slip into the awareness, and I just laugh because I just think that's just so hilarious. But I'm trying to communicate with a person in a 3D, and because I love them. I only do it with people that I love. So people that I don't really have much association with, I just walk away. I don't really have much to give, because I just smile at them. Like there's nothing to say. But people that I love, I try and slip back into my body and try and give them that question in the 3D. And I said, look, I'm, you know, as you know, I fast, and, you know, as you know, that I detox and cleanse, and isn't it great that I look like this? You know, I feel better than what I was at 84.5 kilos. I remember when I started intermittent fasting. So I said, isn't it better to be, you know, 59, 60 kilos, you know? And I'm still at the top end of the BMI, you know, like I'm for my height, you know, so I know I've got some movement, you know, and I said, these are my goals and this is my vision. So I'm struggling a little bit with that. I'm okay with it. I'm working through the journey, because I have to work through the journey, because when I finish my fast and I go into the mini, what I'm planning to do is 2-day dry, 2.5 day MFS, and then 2.5 day, probably a little bit of eating, but it'll be more liquids and fruit, and then I'll probably start cooking some apples or things like that. So that's my plan, but I actually want to dive into another, because I know there's still some stuff in me that needs to get out. I know there is, and yeah. So I want to dive into another one around, I'd say, end of February, but I want to do it a bit longer than 108 days. So I'm thinking, you know, like even into 180 if I can. I don't know if it's too long.
I would think that would be too soon, emotionally.
Right.
Yeah.
If you go for it, see how how it all pans out once you get into the food. It's very soon. Like we're in almost December, you know. We're mid-November. Yeah. When's you said what day you on now? You got 20 days to go?
I've got 12th of December is the 108 days.
Okay, yeah, so.
It's up to you. Take it day by day. Once you start eating, also take it day by day. Be patient with yourself when you start eating. And then if you feel comfortable, go for a long one.
Yeah.
I mean,
you can it all depends. Yeah. Some people can jump in and out and no problem.
You can live on it, no?
Yeah. Most people will have a challenge doing them that close together, is from what we've seen. But it doesn't mean that it's not possible.
Yeah.
The other thing we're talking about is slipping in and out of the body. Some of the yogis talked about this, and they'll wear like copper or certain things, elements to stay in the body.
Yeah.
Because they're not ready to leave.
I'm definitely do what you do. You know, I do a lot of walking. Like I was in a dry fast and I did a 3-hour walk. Like, you know, so there's I just go with my intuition, and plus I do stretching and I do all that stuff to stay in my body. So I kind of flip into that. But yeah, sometimes like my husband says to me, "Oh, I hasn't seen me for 2 hours, but I've slipped out of, I don't know, into the bliss zone. I'm really happy, you know, like I don't know where you go." But then I don't have a fear about it. There's no fear. It's just the journey and the process, and I'm okay with that. It's just learning how to live like that in this physical realm, like how to, you know, to be here and enjoy the human experience. So I'm just trying to balance that out. And the reason why I actually thought about going into a longer one soon was because I want to sustain this lifestyle. Because listening to the videos and everything, like people start eating again, I understand that the momentum and the habits and the paradigm is so quick to slip in that, and I want to catch that, because I'm going to go into a mini MFS, and I thought if I try and do 180, it doesn't matter, even if it's 100 or 90 days, doesn't matter what it is, that I stay in the habit of, because I can feel my body transforming, Gina and Rana. Like you see this, you see the metamorphosis. Like you know, your skin changes and things changing. Things are fixing themselves just like overnight. And
autopilot.
Yeah. This body's just so intelligent. Like like the people here that are going to watch this recording and afterwards, like I just say to my heart, like if you have got a calling to do this, just really do it and surrender yourself, because the journey is just, oh my God, it's just incredible. And if you can find the space and the time to give to you, even if it's a 30-day, 40-day, you know, just anything, because you're going to have that glimpse of, as you say, the 40-day just gives you a glimpse, and 108 days is just the beginning. It is just the beginning. I understand what you're saying now. I never understood it when I was listening to the videos before I started. And the journey is just incredible. The love, the whole experience of being a human being, you've got to have this experience, even if it's just once, because I don't think you'll ever forget it. And then you crave for it. And I want to live my next 50, or, you know, I'm 48 now, but the next 50 biological, 60 or 70 biological years on Earth, I want to live in this. So, and I want to be with people like you, because I just really all love you so much, and you know, we're in it together, and you know, it's just wonderful. And that's why I thought about when I break and when I go into the mini and then I go into another longer one, that it'll just train my body. This is my new life. This is the MFS lifestyle. And because I don't want to go back into having the cooked food. I've actually let go of curries. Like when I was there with my mum and we're, you know, doing the cooking and everything, I didn't want it. I didn't want it. I love the smell and I love being around it, and I love the texture and the other senses that it gives you, that you have those feelings. But I did not want to put it in my stomach at all. I ate all the curries what we were going to make before I went to my parents. I ate it all before I got there, so I tasted it. So I wasn't going to be tempted, you know, tasted it in the other dimension. It works. It always works. That does. It works to a T. But yeah, that's they're the only things, and you know, the love's really strong. Like, you know, the plasma love, and you know, it's very, very powerful, and people pick up on it around me, and so those things that trying to manage this we're in the other dimension and the other energy to manage this in this 3D paradigm, which 99% of the people live in. And I can't handle listening to the bullshit, I can't handle listening to all that science stuff anymore. It's that's the world that the door was closed on. This is the world that I'm in. But now you still got to transition it over. Yeah, and one of the things that really helps me the most is this group, the support group on Facebook, doing these lives and all this sort of stuff, because I don't think I could have done it on my own. There's absolutely I think it would be very, very difficult. I don't know how you did on your own, Gino, but it would be very, very difficult. And
just
everyone has help. Yeah, that's all I've got to say. I don't want to take time from other people.
You're doing amazing. You really are doing amazing, and you're facing everything in a beautiful way. I mean, you're seeing the good picture of everything.
The thing about you said, people, you know, going back, is why it's important to really change your environment completely from A to Z. It's because if you don't, all those triggers will be waiting for you. And this is where I bet you 95% of people don't do. They just do their fast and then they fall off, and they wonder, because there's these triggers are there in your home waiting for you. If whatever lifestyle you've been living before, there's triggers in that home all over, in your car, in your work. So be very prudent to change everything, and I mean everything.
You can't change absolutely everything.
Sure you can. Who says you can?
You'll be isolated. I mean, you still have to work, and you
There's no limits.
You have your family.
Don't
and your
limit
friends.
yourself.
Yeah. Now I've done a lot of what you've done: minimalisation, letting go. I've got rid of people out of my life that don't. If I don't resonate, they just go. I just cut them off. I still love them and cut them. And the only ones I won't cut are my family and certain friends. And so I created a space to bring in a new energy that I want to live in. So people like this group, I spend a lot of time in this group. I read every post. I live it, live in it, because you've got to saturate yourself completely with it. And you create the new. There's only a few of us that do it. You only need a few of us, you know. It's, you know, like, you know, Jesus had 12, and, you know, Buddha was on his own. And, you know, if you look at these people, that there's only few, and they get it. And I think you can. I believe you can do it. That you can live this. You know, open that door up and be in it. But we've got to do it together, because I need every one of you so much. And I've got rid of them. I've got even my girlfriends. I've just gone, look, this is my lifestyle. You can hold on to my coattails if you want to, but this is the way I'm going. Corporate language, legal language, science, and all that stuff. If you start talking to me about it, I zone out. I'm out. You know, like I won't engage unless you a connection with me and you want to help. You know, you want to go the way that I want to live my lifestyle a little bit. Then I'll zone into the 3D. So I'll do it with my family, my mum and dad, because, you know, it's great to honour your parents and do that stuff. You know, be right. You know, be a good person, and people. You know, I love my sisters and my cousins, and I just, you know, love my nephews and nieces. So I'll do it for them. But yeah, but you just got to be really. I think you've got to be really prudent on yourself. Yeah. If you really want this lifestyle, you've got to step into another world. And
yeah, absolutely
beautiful. It's worth it. It's worth it for you, and then it's worth it for the planet.
Yeah,
because then you realise it's got nothing to do with you anymore, because you're just a vehicle in a shell, and it's got to do with what we all do together here. It's the love, it's the way of living, it's the, I want to be here for another 100 years. I like to stay in the physical body and have this experience for, how long you possibly can. It's beautiful. Oh, like touch, like the feeling of touching my skin and my hair and my face, and touch another thing. It's so different. The nerve endings on your fingers are incredible. And you go, wow, it's like being a baby, because you go,
you fall in love with yourself.
Yeah, you're in love with yourself. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So much in love with me.
I totally understand when you say that, it's hard to take criticism from other people, because you love yourself so much more than ever.
Yeah.
I remember my first 108 days when I told my sister, but I love, she's like, you lost so much weight and this and that. And I'm like, but I love my body. I love it more than ever. And she was like, yeah, but this is a sign of anorexia, when you love your, so I was like, this is the opposite of anorexia. I mean, here we are like super healthy and clean. I mean, so it's really hard to explain, and it gets very frustrating, especially with the family. Like you said, the friends, you can just let go. Sometimes I have clients and I see them. I have to see them, right? They're my clients, and they do criticize me as well. I had one person who told me that in my 108 days, my first one, she told me that I look like her when she came out of chemo. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah, it's rude. I forgive her. She passed, actually. She passed away. She was not well. And she actually started the master fast with me, my first one, more than 3 years ago, but she only went for 1 week. She couldn't do it. I mean, she was like, you want to be serious. It's not something that, it's not a new, a new thing and, cool thing. It's a real thing, like it's a fast, and it's a deep cleanse. It's a spiritual, physical, everything. So if you're not ready, don't do it. If you're not ready to commit, don't do it. Don't just, it's not about money. You have money and you spend it on the herbs, on the juice. It's not that. It's much more than that. It's commitment to yourself before anything else. But yeah, I mean, I had very negative comments, and I still do sometimes. Oh, you look, are you fasting? Like every time, like I have a client, are you eating? I can tell. Are you fasting? I can tell, And I always say I feel much better when I'm fasting than when I'm eating. There is no comparison. And if you think otherwise, it's because you have no idea. This is what I say. I always say that. Same client over and over. They would say the same thing. And I would say, if you think that I'm healthy right now eating because I am chubby or whatever, you have no idea what you're talking about. I tell them straight on the face. I have done it many times, and I have fallen off many times. So I'm very confident about what I'm saying, and I feel it. You feel the pain. Yeah.
Yeah. The importance of group, like, all these years before I started sharing Master Fast, involved in all these other groups, talking about detoxification, and I used to be. I made comments in some of them here and there, and nobody really understood what I was saying. I'm reading stuff, and I'm going, "What are these guys doing? They don't even know what detoxification is." So the universe kept kicking me in the ass. You got to start sharing this.
Yeah.
And the support is vital in our society today. If you don't have a support system, you're going to get eaten alive out there. It's totally opposite of everything we're doing. Completely opposite. Everybody's eating like a pig, eating the worst foods, drugging themselves up. We're not drinking water, flooding their cells with. We're doing completely opposite. Yeah. So to do it on your own, it's not that it's not possible. You'd have to be someone with a really strong devotion that you can numb out everything, your surroundings, and phase it completely out. And I've done that. It's not easy. So most people will not be able to do it in this society. And this is why we talk about changing everything from A to Z. So you don't have the same triggers, because you're going to have a lot of those triggers out there that you can't change if it's a job or whatever, you know. Yeah. So do the best you can to change your environment in your home or wherever you're staying.
Yeah.
So it doesn't look anything like what you used to do.
You'll find that you will be able to face the challenges, all kinds of challenges, much more when you are fasting than when you're eating. Yeah. So stay on the lifestyle as much as you can, because you will be able to learn much more and change and grow. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, I don't have all the answers by far, but if you looked at all the posts and the videos from 2015 till now, I talk differently, much more simplified. I've let a lot of things go that were part of me, and it's through interacting with all the beautiful souls that are doing the Master Fast, as well as doing it myself, to gain a new understanding and really come to the terms that only the body can feed, hydrate, balance, and heal itself. That's how simple it is. That's all you need to know. And it comes through the trusting of your soul. Nothing else is going to help you. It's going to be the work of your soul that's doing all the work. And you can see it when you're doing these long fasts. It's in autopilot. You don't have to say, oh, skin, okay, it's time for you to regenerate. Oh, hair, it's this or this bone. It's autopilot. How beautiful is that? We're dealing with the nectar of God, I'd like to put it. There's nothing that comes close to that. I haven't found it in matter state. So this is not for everybody, this lifestyle. For less than a fraction of people will do something like this. But for the people that live and love this lifestyle, magic happens. And it happens over and over and over again as you continue to live it. But it's a challenge out there. It's a challenge. It's a challenge for all of us.
And it's here for a reason, you know, these challenges, so we can grow. I mean, we wouldn't be exposed to them if we cannot handle them. You know, we are the pioneers, really, in the area, you know.
Oh, so many people.
We are the first ones
trying to copy what we've done and we've seen.
Yeah, I mean, each one of you is a leader, you know. Each one of you is, you know, the leader in your family, for example, in this lifestyle, right? Like around your friends, everywhere you go, you are doing something very different from everyone else, and you are a pioneer. You can handle it. That's why you have it, you know. That's why you have grown.
It's an interesting journey, very interesting. You know, having the group and being able to keep inspired by everybody and the support when people need it, because it's just an unknown territory for so many people. And we've only scratched the surface. So we continue to dwell into the abyss of our souls and learn to trust more. That's the thing that's lacking, is that trust in all of us. Mm-hmm. And it's the only thing that stops us, our belief system, our trust. Once you continue and continue and continue, you'll gain more and more and more trust and more faith by doing it, by living it, by experiencing it. There's no other way. Like it helps to listen to everybody else's story, because there might be somebody you resonate with more than somebody else. And that's why we continue to do these, because they're so helpful. We get emails and messages all the time. Oh, please continue to do what you're doing, and so on and so forth. You know, even though there's only 9 of us all together here, but people watch them afterwards, and The small fraction of people that it's helping is awesome. That we can help even one person. That's awesome. We were never did this to do any fancy marketing or anything. If you see how basic everything is that we do is just basic stuff, just to get the things to work and so on and so forth. Yeah, there's a lot of flash, a lot of stuff out there that people fall for. That's gift of the gabs. A lot of people and marketing hype and all that. It's all out there. It's all around us. And if it didn't work, companies, corporations wouldn't spend that money, the millions of dollars they spend every year on all this advertising. If it didn't work, they would keep the money in their pocket. They have to spend it because it works. It works. So our marketing is your experience. That's all. That's the only thing. The only way you're going to know is doing it. I don't care about the flashy words.
It's our experience, your experience, everybody's
and let us know different. Follow the lifestyle. Follow it for a few years. See how it goes. There's no other way that you're going to know, because there's nothing that's out there that's been teaching this stuff at these levels. Arnold Herrick's book. There's a lot of good information in those books that he wrote. A lot of good information. We just took that and a few other things that we've learned through all the other beautiful teachers, wonderful teachers, and we try to make it as simple as possible and not complicate things. Your body needs this, that, and the other mineral and vitamin and amino acid and fat. I don't even want to think about that stuff anymore because it's too complicated. I never really understood it because we don't understand it. It's just theory. It's all theory. It's just theory. And
you can never know everything. There's no way.
We don't know anything. We don't.
Yeah, the best thing is to just let the body heal itself.
We really don't know anything. Everything is whatever it is. We see the sun coming up. It looks like it's coming up, and the moon comes up in the night. And what do we know? The planets are spinning. The atom. They can see the atom that has this functioning similar to the planets and so on and so forth. All this stuff is. If we look at the human body, the way it works, it's all very similar with the blood cells and so on, moving. Everything is the same as the way the universe works, the way the human body works. It's on the same principles. If you look at all the other animals, the plants and so on and so forth, everything has the basic same principles, works on the same mathematics, the structures, and so on and so forth. But do we all know exactly how it all came to be? I don't think anybody really knows.
I feel we are becoming more and more awakened, and the world is really changing much faster than ever. And that's with the internet. I mean, this is how we found out. This is how I found out about the Master Fast and about other cleanses and raw food. Actually, Master Fast YouTube, but. My client is Gino's friend, so it was easier for me to learn about it. But of course, I went to the website and I read it, and I remember doing it, and Gino was like, I missed something, right? And Gino was like, did you read the protocol? He was so strict. I was like, why is he so rude? No, he was not rude. But then he said, read it again. So I read it again, and then I was like, okay, but it was not clear. So now it's clearer.
Yeah, it's interesting. These journeys that we're going through, very interesting.
Yeah.
Where we'll be in another year, 2 years, 3 years, who knows? We'll see.
Yeah, it's amazing. I feel the whole world is changing in different ways. people are awakening. They're not accepting being treated unfairly. They want to do their, if they're not happy, they talk about it. They're not taking it as much as they used to, When we were younger, we just follow, we're told to do things. Now we speak our opinion much more than ever. And yeah, I feel the parents are learning so much, my goodness, from their kids, because they cannot do anything. They have to listen. It's hard to be a parent now. I feel, I look at my dad. He has 7 kids. We are 7 from 2 mothers. And I'm like, when Gino saw him, he was like, your father is very patient, because he's listening to us, and not saying anything. Remember?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, patience is something that
it's amazing. The parents are really going through so much. Yeah.
It's something that a lot of us have challenges with, and it's one thing that is virtue. Patience. We need to work on that, because nature is very patient.
Yeah.
Very patient. Forest can burn down and a new one will grow.
Yeah. So God bless all the parents. It's not an easy job. It's not, these days it's pretty hard. You have to answer. And we're confused. So how can we teach anyone?
So, who's eating? Who's fasting?
Eating.
I'm fasting, finally.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's so hard. I think, the best way you can do, I think, Ranjit got a very good idea to get back to the master fast not as soon as possible, but just to keep a routine, because it's very hard once you fall off to get back into it. Like really, really hard.
Yeah.
It's very tough mentally as well, because you just like, and then every day I remember for me, like, it was like, okay, tomorrow is I'm starting tomorrow. Tomorrow is day 1. Tomorrow is day 1. It's been like that for like nearly 3 months. And then it's just, and then you don't, at the beginning I was like, I just don't understand how I can just go back into it. It just didn't make any sense. But yeah, I guess you have to go to the journey, of learning as well, and do all the mistakes that you have to do to finally be able to understand and to appreciate it, actually.
Mm-hmm.
But it's hard because you just want to fight. I mean, for me, because that's the way I grew up. I just want to, just push and then get the way I want it, and not the way the universe want me to learn. So,
patience. This is where most of us have challenges with. When everybody wants everything instant gratification, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you really have to do all the mistakes to be able to, to come back better, because I feel as well now that I'm only on day 9. Yeah, day 9. But I, because I've done another one before, it's kind of easier for me to understand what's going on into my body, not going in a panic mode, or, just asking myself what is going on, what I'm feeling this way. So I think it's a beautiful gift to do another one, because it's easier in a way that you've been there before. So there's more stuff that you understand at the second time than because I remember the first one for me, even this time now I understand, because everything's starting in my head, like my sinus, my eyes, my throat. And then my first fast, the first month, I was like feeling depressed, like every single day. I was like, I just keep getting down and down and down. And in this time, I had those for the first 5 days, I think it was really, really going down again. But because I knew what was happening, it was easier to just keep going with the fast instead of, asking myself, oh, what's going on? Maybe, maybe I'm missing this, maybe I'm missing that, maybe I should stop. or whatever. But having the tools as well, you know, if you're grounding yourself, because I go running in the sand every day, that is just like a blessing. I mean, it just changes everything. Like even at the end of the day, if I come back from work at the end of the day, let's at 7 or 8 p.m. and I just feel like my energy is going down, I just go on a beach and I'm back. So yeah, it's really good once you know all the tools to use all the tools when you've got really hard times as well.
Yeah.
With the fast, yeah.
What are you thinking for a lifestyle?
It's still like when I finished the master fast last year was to do it as a lifestyle, but I was so sure of myself, you know, because I was like, okay, I'm feeling so good. I'm not gonna eat more than 1 day a week. But I thought in my mind, I didn't write it down. I didn't have my goals or anything. I just thought about everything I was planning to do, but it didn't work out. And then, so now, yeah, it's absolutely to make it like as a lifestyle, for sure. And then my goal is still to do this 1 day a week, because I did that for a month and a half after my 108 days. It was like beautiful. Like I couldn't overeat, just eating on 1 day a week, because it's just too much. It's just too heavy. And I was just feeling tired. Plus it was just like a nightmare to find like, you know, to prep the food. It takes so much time going from shop to shop to find something that's ripe enough to eat.
Exactly.
So it's kind of like easier than being on a juice.
Absolutely.
So yeah, so it will be a lifestyle for me for sure. I just can't go back because, like I said, I let myself go when I first arrived in Australia, because I had to catch up with so many friends, because I was living here for 8 years. Then I went back home for 2 years, and I came back here. So going back with friends, it's all food. So you catch up, you know, for breakfast, it's food. For lunch, it's food. For dinner, it's food. So, and at the beginning, I was like, no. I was like, oh, okay, I'm just going to go maybe once a week. I'm going to allow myself to have one vegan stuff. And then just like, I end up eating every day, every single day, like 7 days a week. And then no dry fasting windows at all. And that's why I said I went to hell. Seriously, I went to hell. It was just a vicious cycle. I couldn't get back myself into it. And I remember I had few days as well. I was just so bloated and feeling so, I couldn't just keep the food in my belly. I had to make myself throw up. I know it's not good, but I just couldn't. And then on top of that, I was trying to get back into food in between and juicing. And I had like so much fermentation. Oh God, it was just like not a good no. So for me, master fast for life for sure. So this experience.
I feel we are very similar. When we fall hard.
Oh God, yeah.
And you also notice that 1 day a week is way too much, right? You feel tired.
Yeah.
The whole day was wasted on preparing food. And
yeah, absolutely.
Sometimes it doesn't even taste good, right?
Yeah. It will make you feel like what at the end of the day? To make you feel like
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it is definitely. I don't know if I can do massive fast weekly for a very long time, because like for a year maybe, because like you're too smart to know that's not the way.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you know, maybe you know, to make that decision of not to eat again. I mean, I don't want to say never. It's a big decision. It's very scary when we're coming from eating every day.
Oh yeah.
Every day, 7 days a week, and you're just saying, you know what? I know liquidarian is the way to go. You know, so just master fast, full master fast.
Yeah, you have to focus on not that you're stopping eating, just using different forms of energy, because that's the scary part. Oh, man, I'm never going to eat again.
I mean, I want to do, what Ranjit does, which is eat on your own, you know, like through the energy of the food, right? So it comes to you, you're thinking about it, and you're eating it. I mean, that's very spiritual. It's definitely, I'm not doing that, you know, like it's missing. And that would be very helpful.
Yeah. And I went to do my first, to tell you how bad I'm plugged up. I went to do my first colonic. That was on Wednesday. Nothing came out. Mm-hmm. Even the lady who did that, she was like, this is the first time I had someone who got you know, like really have nothing's coming out. But on the other hand as well, she was just trying to, because she asked me about the way I eat, what was my reason why doing that. And plus, I bought a course of 6 of them straight away because I knew I would need more than just 1 or 2. And then, she's starting straight away to try to convince me, to go back to, eating every day, and then, eating cooked food and vegan at least, and then, and then trying to sell me some supplement and everything. So she's working that I'm blocked and nothing's coming out because of my way of eating, because I'm missing nutrients and fibers and blah, blah, blah. But I said to her, yeah, thank you so much. But yeah, I'm keeping my way, my own way.
So did you leak at all through the session?
No.
No? Okay.
No. But the funny thing is I got result with the animals here. But I didn't get any result with her. But with the animals, like I don't know, you don't recommend that, but I'm having a very good result with lemon juice, raw lemon juice, or with the tinctures. Like the tinctures is really, really good. But yeah, with the colonics, I have another one later this afternoon because it's Sunday. So yeah, at 3 p.m. in 2 hours. So I will see how I go with the second one. But the first one, and then I had a lot of water. Like she was impressed the amount of water I was, she was able to put inside of me without me screaming stop or whatever, because she said like a lot of people can't really handle much water. And then she was hoping that maybe after the colonics something will come out. It was a closed colonic, so I went for close. I knew from the videos that I have to look for a closed one. But yeah, I was so disappointed. I was so excited about my first colonic.
That's your first ever?
First ever, yeah.
And sometimes I think, the first one, maybe people are either nervous or maybe very blocked. It's just very blocked.
Yeah.
And then, were you dry fasting before you went?
Yeah. I was only on. No, but I broke my fast. Sorry, I broke my fast before I went there.
How long?
So I did 16 hours dry fast. Then I had the tea. I had the tinctures, and then I had the pudding. But I think as well I was doing too much pudding, because now I'm back to 1 tablespoon. So I was doing 4 tablespoons, but I think it's just one part of me always try to do, the maximum you can do. And then I was feeling like really, really blocked. And then, nothing was moving on. Then after that, after the colonic, I've been doing only 1 tablespoon, because I remember as well that my first 108 days, it took me like maybe a month before having things moving out of my body, cleaning, like even going to the enemas, nothing was coming out in the enemas for like a month. And then I couldn't keep the water either, my first month, like last year. And then, so I cut down now with the pudding, and then it's so much better. I don't feel bloated anymore. And then I go to the toilet. That the first 5 days I was doing like 4 tablespoons, and that was just,
and then
was not a good idea, I think.
I always tell master fast clients not to dry fast before they come. Like if they can,
even if you break the fast,
they break the day before.
Okay. All right.
24 hours. It takes a while for the colon to get hydrated. So sometimes they didn't release much. They were excited. They're coming after 24 hours or 48 hours. And not much comes out. So I always tell them to break it.
Yeah, because she said to me, it's because you don't drink any water, lady. You have to drink your water. I was like, okay. So I would pretend that I drank my water for today.
I'm sure you'll have a good 3 days today.
Yeah. Sorry?
You're drinking today?
Yeah. I've been I did. No, I'm not dry today. No, I'm doing the dry after I finish with her. I'm starting my dry after. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah,
but I'm really having a hard time to drink 2 liters. Really, really hard time.
Yeah.
We've had all kinds of opinions from colon therapists about people on MFS. Yeah, it's interesting. You're always missing something.
Yeah, but I think that's why, you were saying earlier that when people go on a master fast, they're scared. It's because it's too simple. Because we grew up learning, you need this and you that, blah, blah, blah. So you always feel like you're missing something. But here, because we go back into like just nothingness, like really nothing, to just, help your body to clean out. And that's why people think that it can be right, I think that's why as well, at the beginning, you're scared because you feel like I'm not giving anything to my body, because we grew up thinking we have to give instead of thinking we have to remove, just let the body, deal and make whatever it needs to do.
We haven't been taught that we can trust in the creator that made our body perfectly, and it doesn't need anything from external sources. We haven't been taught that.
No.
So we just plug it up for years on end, and then we get sick, and then we want to add more things to try and fix it. Doesn't work.
No.
I haven't seen it work. I've tried them all. Not all, but a lot of different things. And it's just, you're only going to get so far adding. You're only going to get so far. The art of subtraction is the key.
Less is more.
It took so many years to really, really hone in and understand it. Even though I fasted all those years, understanding it took many years to get to that state of saying, yeah, it's not about addition at all.
Yeah, it would be nice to simplify, to have it simple, and at the same time enjoy, like, I don't know, it's I'm sure there is much more joy with less, like even if it's one juice and that's it, one type of juice.
Keep it simple.
There's joy, but I think it takes time for us to really appreciate it. Yeah. Like I remember hearing maybe 3 years ago, listening to a person. She was talking about breatharianism. She was more into liquids, but minimal liquids, and it was like diluted cucumber juice. And somebody asked her, "Don't you miss the flavors of food, different foods?" And she said, "No, actually, I have all the flavors that I can ever imagine right now in my head. Like she has access to them, whereas when she's eating, she has less access to them."
Yeah, really simply, mono eating, people will do better. But we're so used to having a variety of so many things when we eat.
Agreed. That's more
complex. It's just very hard on the body when you keep things simple. One type of fruit, mono eating. Most animals are mono eaters in the wild. Humans bastardize everything.
Yeah.
Humans think the creator was not correct and we have to change it.
Yeah, I mean, making food is an art, right? Like chefs, and they can put flavors together, but I always say that the best food is God's food. It's like ripe fruit, nobody can imitate that. Nobody, I don't care who it is, nobody can imitate what God has created. And it's very simple. It's just one ingredient. Or a chef would make a complicated dish, and it tastes good, but it's obstructive, and I think that's why it tastes good. Right? Anything that's obstructive does taste good. It's addictive.
Yeah, I was looking for those flavor actually when I went back on my crazy journey with food. It's like the variety of the spices and the sweet and then everything. But the thing is, like, you can't stop it. You just can't.
Feel though.
Awful. The thing that's the thing. That's the thing. The taste is amazing. You know, I was thinking about that yesterday because I passed by a shop. Like, I used to go, like, since Argentina, I was going there every day. It's like an Asian vegan stuff. And I was like, okay, it's very exciting and then it's beautiful. It tastes very good, but straight away, once it's going down, it's over. I mean,
another question is, okay,
yeah, exactly.
We know it doesn't make us feel good. This is like, we know that before we eat it. But the bigger question is, did it satisfy you? And the answer is absolutely not. You want more. You want something, something different or more.
It doesn't settle the emotions. It numbs you out.
Yeah.
I mean,
so really, what's the point?
Yeah.
Like, if there's action at the end of it, everybody's happy. Everybody's a winner. But like, not even satisfied. And nothing is going to satisfy you.
Since we choose to eat, let's enjoy the process. Enjoy it fully. Let's not regret it. Let's enjoy it. We're gonna maybe, depending on what you eat, you may pay the consequences, but enjoy the process. And if you really don't want to feel the effects so much, just chew the food and spit it out. I've done that. Don't swallow it. Just spit it out. You get the taste, the sensations, and just spit it out.
Wow, we are trapped.
Yeah, I know, for a few days, I was like, Gino, what did I listen to you? No, I feel like I can't. I know, sorry, that wasn't you. But on the other hand, I was like, well, this is the truth, because the way you feel and the way you look the next day, my goodness.
You can see it.
I couldn't recognize myself. I even sent pictures to my two sisters because they're still in London. They were laughing. They were laughing at me. But on the other hand, they said, I'm never going to do the master fast because I don't want to be like that. I don't want to experience.
Yeah, no, people, they don't want to fake the truth. Look in the mirror. The truth is there. Like I said, the colon feeding protocol. I say do 9 days. Take your picture.
Before and after.
When you start and after,
Take your picture on day 9 and tell me if the truth is not right in your face.
I tried to do that one as well, but because I was still in I was still in my food. Because the thing is, like, I felt like for some stage I was like, I want to go back to the master fast, and I was starting with the juice. Then somehow during the day I was like, oh, I had a juice, so let's go get some bananas. Let's go get some dates. By the end of the day, I had like a vegan cooked stuff. And I tried that for 3 weeks. I was like, oh, maybe if I do the feeding colon, it will be easier because I don't have to I felt like if I put something into my mouth, I was just losing control. And then I tried the colon feeding, but it didn't work. I just feel like I needed something.
I think we are similar, like maybe in the way we handle food. I feel honestly it's very important to be, the reason you fell in the first place is because you were weak, right? Like, in a way, like, you were challenged, so help yourself instead of going to the extreme. Just help yourself somehow. Help yourself. Like, if you have to drink 3 liters a day of the juice, or even drink another juice, right? Then do that. Whenever you have food coming into your mind, drink more, so that this way you're so full, you're not gonna even think about the food because you're so full. So help your body, be gentle, reward your body. I don't know, like, do whatever you can to just be gentle, because I never did the liquid feeding myself, and I definitely don't see myself starting a master fast with it, not coming from a 7-day eating. I can't. There's no way. There's no way. I feel it's too much on me. Like, let's be gentle with ourselves. Let's get back on the liquid master fast, right? And wash your colon and drink as much as you want. Drink more, so you don't like even think about the food. And slowly increase your dry, and slowly, if you want to experiment with whatever, more powerful protocol. But I would say be gentle, because I'm like you. I would not allow myself to push too much. It's too much. Yeah, you know, our emotions cannot handle it. It's too much.
Yeah.
So be gentle with yourself as much as you can.
Yeah, I'm learning to do that.
Yeah, and if it has to be 1 day a week of eating, then do that. And if it's whatever, if it's completely full master fast, then do that.
Now I feel good back on master fast. I feel good right now. The first 3 days I was drinking more actually, and I was getting more hours in the 8 hours window because I was just so scared to go back to the food, you know. So I was like, instead of what I think about the food, I was finishing, you know, to work or passing by the shop. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna have a juice in my hand. I'm gonna drink when I'm going back home. I'm past to the shop, and I was not feeling the, you know. And then now it's day 9, I'm fine. But like you said, I grew up in a way of just pushing myself. And then as well, what I love with the master fast that I'm being aware this time, it's all the way I'm talking to myself in my mind. Mm-hmm. And then it's not gentle at all. Like I'm just like putting myself down like nonstop. And then now with the master fast, few times this week, I just catch myself and Judith, what are you talking to yourself like that? You know, it's just, so I'm trying to just talking to myself like I was talking to the little Judith, the little me that, you know, I need to be taken care of instead of being judged and instead of, you know, punishing her. But it's a very good challenge, a big challenge for me. Yeah.
Yeah, let's face it, you know, most people get upset about the truth. Whenever truth is presented to them, they get upset because for whatever reason, right? Because they've been lied to for so many years or whatever. The truth upsets people, you know. The change is another thing that people have difficulty with, but that's the only thing that we can have that's a guarantee in our life is change. Every day is a new day, you know. It's change is continual. The universe works on cycles. Everything's changed. So when truth is presented, we should be enthusiastic and joyful that we've learned something and and gained a new understanding. But we look at the truth in not so much in the light is what I see. You know, not eating is your answer. It can't be, but you know everything's working better. Everything feels better. Then we get upset. No, it can't be. We have to eat because we're so addicted to the foods and our lifestyle and et cetera, et cetera. So the truth is not something that we're used to taking in with appreciation, is what I've seen. And you get, you know, people have been, if you look at history, how many people have been ridiculed and killed because they presented a new truth and that mainstream wasn't ready for it. So fasting's been around since the beginning of time. It's all wild animals do it when they're sick or injured.
Yeah, I mean, just find a gentle way to make this a lifestyle. That's really it. Yeah. And if you want to go deeper, do it. You don't have to run and like do master fast for the rest of your life, like full master fast. You can eat as much as you want, as many days as you want, but have a plan and start slowly and be gentle. Like everybody knows their pace. And
yeah, I've been writing this time since I started. I've been writing even every day, and especially I think it was day 3, because for me, like the first master fast, the hardest one, I had a lot of healing crisis, but it was very, very emotional. And then I think it was day 3. I wake up very early. Like I wake up at 3:30 in the morning. I go for a run on the beach because I'm just 5 minutes away from the beach here in Sydney. And then day 3, I just didn't want to go for a run, and I started to write. Like from 4:30 until 7. I was just writing, like all the thing was coming out. And then even in the bus, in the train, I was still writing. And then after that, I felt just like more light. I don't know. It was just so much that needed to come out of me.
Yeah, I watched the video of us. I was going to post it, and I don't know, something happened. I got a phone call, and I forgot where the link was. But it was, I've shared this before, some troubled emotions, write them down on paper clearly, and then burn them and release them to the earth for recycling. And
it's a great idea.
You may have to do that 2-3 times for the same one if it's a really deep emotion. It really does work, because when we burn things, we bring it back to higher order. So that's why the writing is very important, and then the burning of things that we having trouble with, so we can reestablish and rebalance it out. But it may, you may have to do it 3, 4, 5 times for one certain emotion. Sometimes you already do it once, you burn it, you're done with that one. But we have, gazillions of these emotions since we started, to exist. And this is a process. It's not something that we're going to snap our fingers and it's over. Like people think, you're 108 days, everything's all, they're too fat. No, this is a lifetime. This is it's a process. Yeah. It's we're going to continue learning from this. Every fast will be a new experience. Mm-hmm. So the writing, it's awesome. Just keep writing. And the ones that you're having trouble with, like I said, burn them.
But I think you gave me my solution, because I've been writing on the same subject the whole week.
Excellent. So,
the whole week it's been the same. And then this morning when I was doing my meditation, I was like, please, universe, just teach me how to let it go.
Yeah, burn it. So the other thing
that's it.
It's great being in nature, just going for a walk on the beach, in the forest, whatever. Being in nature is so therapeutic. Connecting back with those energies, interacting with those energies, sun gazing, whatever it is, go for a swim, this, that, the other thing. Being in nature as much as you can. If you can't, for whatever reason, be in nature, watch some nature stuff on YouTube. There's all kinds of stuff. Listen to birds singing, whatever. It's just get into the zone and be around those sounds and that presence, because it's all field interaction. It doesn't matter whether you're physically there or not. It's all the same. The test they did, I think it was on a basketball team. They split it in half, and half of them did their practices physically every day. The other half did it sitting down, meditating, imagining they're practicing. Then they tested them, and there was no difference in the outcome. So which is more real? They're both real. So the creation always starts with a thought, intent, emotion, manifests. It's simple. That's basics of creation, from my understanding. And we can all do it. It's all fields. It's all different field strengths, just like every emotion, every thought, everything has a unique field strength. Every living, non-living thing has a field strength. And we can tap into these field strengths. Just like we can tap into the emotion of foods, and we can taste them without tasting them. We can smell them without smelling them. You know what they taste and what they smell like. They don't have to be around you. Just imagine the smell of a beautiful rose. It's one of my favorite smells. Or a beautiful ripe mango, or whatever. We know what things smell like. Vanilla, cinnamon. Right away. Wow, lemon. How's lemon taste? Your mouth starts watering. Because you're tapping into the emotion of the foods without physically having it there in front of you, or experiencing it physically. And if we train ourselves more and more to do that, we will master that, and we will never have to touch the physicality of things again. We will have the total bliss of them in the realm of plasma as fields. Imagine if you let children play with this stuff and don't teach them anything. They will do things that will blow us away. The creativity that will come out of children will blow you away. There's people experimenting with these kinds of things, and it's awesome. When we teach children, we are conditioning them. They already have access to all the information. What do we need to teach them? We believe we know more, and actually we're, reducing them through programming. This is a whole new paradigm of way to allow children to express their creativity and their access to all knowledge of all creation. It's so difficult because of our programming. That's the challenge, to let them express without any limitations, and don't ever say no to them.
Talking about the senses and how you can be satisfied by smelling, or even just thinking about the smell of something. It is very true, because when we fast, we appreciate the food, and we can smell much better, and we can appreciate food much more. And I guess when we go even like no liquids, we can appreciate things even more, I feel.
So many women that were on Master Fast, they were preparing still for their family, and they mentioned their family was surprised how much better the food tasted when they were preparing food on their fast versus while they were eating. Why?
Appreciation.
Appreciation
of the food.
They're tapping
Love
into the fields of the food. They're connecting with those energies.
I mean, when we're eating,
plasma love always flowing. That's what they're tapping into.
When you're eating and you're preparing something, it's like another food. But when you're fasting and you're preparing something, it's there's appreciation, that you don't get when you're eating.
Yeah, if we can snap our fingers and have it all done, it would be nice. But until that time, we keep fasting.
What about the dreams, Gina? I've been dreaming that I've been breaking my fast again, maybe because I'm so scared. For the last maybe 3 nights, I'm just waking up. I was like, oh my God, I broke my fast. But no, I didn't. It's only a dream. But like three nights in a row. Seriously, I wake up in the middle of the night.
Awesome. You're training yourself in your dreams to tap it into the emotions of those foods. That's all you're doing. What's more real, the dream or we talked about? It's the same. There's no difference. So we leave the body and we're still, consciousness is there in the dream state.
I mean, yeah.
Where do you think we're going to go when we die?
But one time I dreamed that I was having a hamburger. I mean, I don't want to have a hamburger.
It's okay. I wouldn't worry about fast. When I started doing fast for long ones, I used to watch the Food Network. Oh my God, when I used to have TV years ago. Steady when I was fasting. And I would just watch anything about cooking and stuff. It was just, I was really satisfied. So it's okay. For some people, they don't want to see anything to do with food, but we're dealing with food everywhere.
Well, the dream was a nightmare. I got up, I was upset. I was really upset. And then when I realized it was a dream.
It was just a dream. Yeah, I was the same. I had the same for the last 3 nights.
I was like, wow. No, you know what I said when it happened again? I was like, oh, it's just a dream. And I said, let's go back to sleep and continue finishing, the
finish the meal. Well, you want to experience that feeling, that sensation through that, and there's no big deal. Better than doing it physically. And for whatever reason, you needed to experience that. So,
but it's amazing because you know how you feel horrible when you eat. I felt horrible, and it was just a dream. When I woke up, I was like, wow, like why are my kidneys hurting? Like I didn't eat. It's amazing.
Yeah, like I was talking earlier about the chewing thing. Chewing the food and spitting it out. It's very, very difficult. You have to be very careful to not swallow any when you're doing these. But you'll see, let's say you went into something like a grain, some pasta or something, you did that. You will feel the effects just like you ate it. Not to the same degree, but you will feel them the next morning, even just chewing it.
Oh, yeah.
So this is where we're talking about energies. These are things that you can experiment with and stuff, but like I said, it's very difficult not to swallow any. It's very difficult. But if you really, whatever reason, can't handle, you have to have that flavor, spit it out. Spit it out. So you don't have to physically process it.
Yeah, but the next day you're gonna go back into the same, and the second day then you're gonna sweat it. I started like that.
Until you say it's enough. It's enough. It's enough.
Yeah.
So, you know, this is where the trying to get the message through of what this really is not a simple task. And we've seen it from people doing the long fast, because people think, you know, it's you know, why can't I go back to eating the way I used to eat? We never said anything about that. It's a lifestyle. Right from the start, it's a lifestyle. You don't want to go back. What are you doing this? Why are you making these changes for? Because you're miserable, sick, and in pain. So why would you want to go back to that? And some people do, because
they're not ready. They're
not ready to make the changes. And that's okay. Everybody's got their do what they have to do. But to jump into the realm of where everything's possible, you have to do things that nobody else is willing to do, and you need to do them over and over and over. And it takes work and effort and devotion and commitment, patience, persistence.
I mean, yeah, we are the pioneers in this field. We're doing things that very few people around us are doing.
Robbie has a question. I'll unmute you. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just saying hello because this is sort of my first Zoom. I watched one, but I didn't participate. I don't actually know how to use all the technology, so
yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm on about day 34.
Awesome.
And I had some ups and downs and different things happening, but basically I'm hanging in there pretty much by myself.
Amazing.
Yeah, well, we're lucky we have the internet and we can connect with people all over.
Yes. But, yeah, I listen to the Zooms most of the time. I actually set them up while I'm doing my Kalima, which is pretty cool.
The ups and downs, we interpret it as downs, but they're all ups when you're on a fast. This is the new understanding. They're all ups. You will come out stronger. It's just that we believe it's a down session because we feel like we're going to die or feel like crap or whatever, but truly they are all ups. The downs is the time we should jump for joy because the next up will be much better. So it's a cycle of how fasts go. And these cycles can happen within hours or days or weeks. You know, and in one day you can feel like crap, feel amazing, and feel like crap again in one day when you're on a fast or reverse. So we embrace it all and come to that understanding that it's all positive and just use the tools to pull us through. Simple.
But the idea is that eventually, like after 108 days, eventually we're not going to feel crap.
Oh no, the downs get less and as you're living this lifestyle over the years, the downs get less and less and less, what we consider downs. You don't get into the crazy healing reactions as much as you used to, but it takes years. It takes years to clean out. I've shared my story of the severe mucus problem I used to have, and it took me over 5 years. Fasting and raw food eating. People want everything done in 108 days. We can get pretty far in 108 days with this lifestyle, but it's just opening the doors. Really, that's all it's doing. So you walk through or close them up. It's your choice.
My weight's already fairly low. That sort of worries me a little bit. So I started at 56 kilos last November and started reducing and changing my food a little bit. I was already pretty much raw fooding and eating salads and some cooked veggies at night.
What's your weight now?
And last time I weighed myself, I don't own scales, was about 46 kilos, and that's as low as I've ever been.
Your height?
5'6".
Okay. I wouldn't worry too much about it. How do you feel overall?
Yeah, I'm feeling my energy's down a bit. Over the 12 months, it's down, and probably a little bit down on the fast as well.
How long?
My mental health is better. Sorry?
How long have you been on the raw foods and stuff?
On and off since 2007.
Oh, okay.
And then when I was diagnosed with Hep C, I was not doing very well, and because I live with a cooked food family, I sort of gradually introduced more cooked food, but really just still only steamed veggies and baked things, and I was eating eggs at that time and that sort of thing. So I've only cut out just a few of the cooked things. Treats I would eat, like sweet treats sometimes, because I would cook those things for my family. Special occasions, a little bit of cheese, like white cheese, that sort of thing.
How much dry fasting are you doing this time?
I've cut back from, in the daytime when I was eating, I was doing up to 14 or 15, and now I'm just down to between 12 and 14. I always have trouble starting drinking early in the day, and also when I was eating, I was only having a smoothie or whatever, and then I'd gradually gotten that back to about 3 o'clock or something. And but once I start eating, I get quite the brain fog comes in, and that's reduced now. Like even when I first started this fast, I was still getting the brain fog when I started drinking the juice, not so much the tea, but as soon as I put calories in, I would get quite brain fogged. But in the last week or so, the brain fog has reduced a bit, and also the depression in the last 2 weeks has diminished, but I'm still having anxiety, and I'm having a bit of heart pain.
Were you taking any medications before?
No medication. I did take the Hep C drugs, though. That was a while ago.
For this fast, what's your dry fasting schedule on the fast?
12 hours and 24 hours once a week, and I after 3 weeks I did a longer fast. I did about 42, but so I was going to call that my monthly. My stomach got really, really sore, and I had to drink really, really slowly to try and rehydrate. It took a couple of days for that to feel better. So I'm not all that keen to do the longer one because it hurts so much. Anyway.
Yeah, this is good. 42. I mean, do your best. That's what we say, up to 72 hours, but you don't have to do 72 hours. 42 is good. Once a month, not bad.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of my first longer one.
So you're sticking to the minimal dry fasting, correct? No.
Yeah, pretty much. I managed to come
and how much
12 or 13.
How much juice are you drinking per day?
Between 2 and 3 litres. Some days I have trouble getting up to 3, but I also use that to mix my pudding with. Yeah. Last week I was having quite a bit of nausea with it, and I was having trouble getting my pudding in. So last night I mixed my pudding and drank it straight away, and that was much, much easier, and also added vegetable to my tea, which was really, really nice. But today I've made a new batch of tea, and I've put andrographis in it, and it was horrible. So I don't know what I'm going to do about that. I'll have to try and break it back down again, get it so it doesn't taste so bad.
Yeah. The last few years is when you had some cooked food back in?
Yeah, I've been eating cooked food for a while, but mostly just baked veggies or steamed veggies or and also a bit of cooked millet with pumpkin or cooked quinoa with pumpkin. A couple of days a week, couple of nights.
Yeah, so these foods are fairly obstructive, even though we don't think they are. But you got work to do, and just keep at it, keep going, keep digging. If it gets just too overwhelming for you, slow it down with green juices. Lots of washing with enemas, colonics. It's all written down in the protocol. It's just a process, Robbie. And don't be fearful of the weight. The weight comes back. It's just the biggest thing is being ridiculed out there from people and so on and so forth. So wear loose clothing when you go out. Don't talk to people about what you're doing because it's just through ignorance and they don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
We've had one lady.
Yeah, no, I was guided.
Yeah. Sorry?
I was guided to come here. Like I was guided to come here. Like I couldn't, it was a gift from, and then I thought, no way, I can't afford the herbs because I haven't been able to work for nearly 10 years because of my health and because of my mental health. And then I was given something that allowed me to get enough money to buy the herbs. So that was really awesome.
Awesome. So, you've talked about some improvements already and you're only, 30 days, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah. So just continue and focus it as a lifestyle. Everything will clear up. It just takes whatever it takes. I have no idea how long. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. 1, 5, 10 years, 20 years, who cares? It's a lifestyle. You're living it, you're enjoying it, you love it, and you continue. And you're going to have cycles, and it's okay. Like there was somebody, I can't remember who it was, she posted about, she went to the doctor because her mother wanted her to get a blood test, and the doctor says, you have to eat immediately or you're going to drop dead. I go, oh my God. She's only like 40 days.
She stopped, right?
And then she broke her fast because you can't tell people to continue if their mind is really in that fearful state. You just can't. You can encourage and give them suggestions and stuff, but at the end of the day, when there's so much fear there, it's better they just break and continue next time and learn through that experience.
It's a lifestyle as well, right? So do you have, are you willing to live it as a lifestyle as well, Robbie?
Yeah. Yes, pretty much. It sounds, a bit like you, Ron. I can't see myself giving up food yet, but I've been trying to get well for so long, and my father and my sister both died of stomach and bowel cancer. So I figure the pipes really need cleaning out. My mum's 89, and she's, but I keep looking, I think, she just keeps eating so much. Because that's what they all do. They take them out and they feed them, over and over. And I said, well, what about looking at the butterflies instead of eating the food?
Exactly.
But it's really interesting. So, yeah, but I've been really doing what you did, Gina. I'm suddenly into cooking food. Like I really have been, that was part of what was happening. I just didn't want to cook and I didn't want to eat, and I didn't know how to do that. Like in my mind, I asked, I don't want to have to eat and cook all the time. It takes up all my time. And I thought that was a ridiculous question. And then the master fast came up and I went, oh, wow. So, so I'm heading that way, but it's pretty amazing stuff.
Yeah, we're not telling anybody to stop eating, but reduce it substantially over time.
Yeah. Well, the smells as well. I can feel the fields much more and smell the fields, and so I'm cooking for my husband. It's very funny because he actually doesn't have a sense of smell because his sinuses are really badly damaged. I think because I got a really bad dose of mold, and that really damaged me physically and mentally, and I think the mold damaged him as well.
Yeah.
Pardon?
You posted that about mold a while ago?
Yeah.
You?
Mold.
No, you posted it on
Yes.
the board, I think.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, okay.
A while back. Yeah.
I got so many people, it's hard for me to remember everything.
Yeah. The mold really trashed me, and then I got chemical sensitivity on top of that. So I have trouble going out into the world anyway, because everybody smells like chemicals.
You
so
got
that's a bit tricky.
essential oils?
Yeah, I can handle most essential oils, and I use those.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, continue using essential oils to smother yourself with natural odors whenever you go out.
Yeah.
They really help on an emotional level. That's where essential oils work. The emotion goes through the lungs. Directly.
Yes, so I'm using essential oils, and I also do something that's called liquid crystals, which an Australian man created, and that's pretty good too. So I use my pendulum to douse for those, and I even sometimes put them in my enemas.
Oh, okay.
Because that way you can have a full dose in one enema. Generally, you take them over 21 days, or you can put a full dose in your bathtub and have a bath in them.
Interesting. Okay.
I do a bit of that as well, and I'm using my burnt stick, and I'm actually an ear candling therapist, but I haven't been doing that, so I need to spend time trying to do some of those as well.
Awesome.
Just seems to take time. And but I've got nothing else to do because I was too unwell to function or interact very well. So I figure I might as well do this.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Making the decision is.
So I'm grateful.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, really grateful.
You're sounding sound to me, so continue.
Yeah, I am.
Don't let anybody discourage you. If you have some challenging times, trust, use the tools. You can, like we say, if it gets too overwhelmed, we can slow it down. If we don't want to stop, we just slow it down with some green juices for a few days and see how that goes. And continue using the tools. Sometimes you may go to like a pineapple juice to slow it down a little bit. If that's not enough, then you go to the green juices to slow it down more. Because that one will slow it down.
I've been adding in a bit of cherry and sometimes pomegranates, and that breaks the grape juice up a bit. And I don't do that every day, and I'm only using cheap grape juice. Like I have had some Patriti, which is the dearer one from South Australia, but lately I've been mostly buying the berry juice from the supermarket, and I get it on special, so it's only about $3, 2 litres.
Nice.
And then I mix it with the dearer juice, which is $6, $7 for a litre. So I'll mix it up a bit. But I loved putting the vegetables in my tea. That was incredible. That just made so much difference. And then also just mixing up my pudding and drinking it straight away. That's much easier than trying to eat it.
Many ways to make it work for you. Many, many ways. So it's all great. The vegetables really help with the emotions. They make us feel more grounded. So that's another tool. So many tools we have. It's I wish I had all these tools when I started. I mean, they were there, but we didn't know about them. Because everything that's been created, that hasn't been created, has already been created. It's already, the information's there. We just need to tap in and source it out. So, all these inventions people claim these have already been created. Creation has nothing missing. It's all there. Surprise! Nobody owns nothing.
There's a question from Robbie. What veggies?
Somebody's asking, what veggies did you use?
Parsley, spinach, and silver beet with their stems on. Maybe a bit of coriander leaf. into the tea. It was just amazing. Because and some celery. I was really craving. I've been craving the whole fast salty things.
Yeah. Adrenals.
And adrenals likely. But that was really good. Before I started the fast, like in that last 12 months, I've also been trying food that I haven't eaten for years. Like I haven't really eaten grains. I've been eating salty crackers with my husband, just rice crackers, and they've been heavenly. But sometimes I do slices of raw zucchini as well with just something a bit salty on it. So yeah, I figured that's what was happening. But then when I had the celery and the veggies in the tea, it was just like that really solved that. So I'm going to keep doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it helps you, keep doing it. You can pretty much put any veggies in there, like the onions and garlic. I would stay away from the bulbs. If you really want, you can use the greens of the onions and garlic. It's just too strong.
I haven't been able to tolerate onions and garlic for years. I used to be allergic to garlic because I ate so much of it. So I've just not been introducing that so much.
Yeah, they're herbs more than foods.
What you can do also, you can put maple syrup if you feel it's very hard to drink the tea. You can put a little bit. Gino makes the tea and he puts lots of different herbs and maple syrup usually in the cup, and some tinctures and the tea, and it tastes amazing. It's almost like it's just delicious. Try that. I mean, there are so many different herbs, and he just keeps adding water. You do change it how often? Once a week?
Once or twice a week.
But he doesn't. You don't throw the herbs, right? You keep them.
After no.
You throw away everything.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because sometimes you just add water, right?
Yeah, I add water a few times, and then when the flavor's starting to go, I'll change it over.
Yeah.
You can reuse the herbs a few times.
Like a few weeks, no problem. Just add more herbs.
Not a few weeks, no.
A few days?
Once or twice a week I'm changing it.
Okay, he makes it. I just drink it.
Yeah, well, this time I made a big batch and put andrographis in, but it's really yucky, so I'll have to add some other things in to break that down.
Yeah, maple syrup is
that's too strong. Pardon?
Maple syrup is really nice with the tea.
I've been having a bit of honey. We get really good quality raw local honey here. I do have maple syrup sometimes on my pudding, but I prefer to have honey in my tea because it's local and it's quite good quality.
SK is asking, what veggies did you use? Me, you're asking?
No, it's the same question.
Oh, it's the same.
For Robbie. And then the second question.
The second question is...
how do you store the herbs?
How do you store the herbs once they've been cooked? We just leave the pot on the stove. Because we're using it, when you're using it daily, if you're not going to be using it for a few days, you dry fast, whatever, put it in the fridge.
Yeah, it goes bad. But if you're boiling it twice a day, it should be fine.
Yeah, so wow, we got almost 3 hours here.
Wow.
Let's wrap her up, I guess, if anybody's got a quick question.
All right, guys, I do have a question.
Sure.
So sorry, getting back on the tea real fast. I'm having a hard time with the tea, so I'd love for it to start enjoying it. When you cook it once, then do you add more of like the Bell's kidney tea for the next time when you reboil it in the evening?
We don't use Bell's anymore.
Well, I have yours too, but I saved my Bell's packet for...
If you have it, finish it off. But once you make a batch, right, and you use whatever cups out of it, I add water, and that's it for maybe another day or so. And you might need to put a pinch of the fresh herb in it if you like. And I don't know, I just go by feel. I don't know how many days I can do that. I keep adding water. And then when I feel it needs to be changed, I dump it all out, make a new batch. That's the way I do it.
But like, how big are your batches?
Well, how big's the pot? Maybe. It's a small pot.
It's like
one. So you don't measure it. You just do it by feel.
Maybe, yeah.
Maximum 2 liters of liquid.
Yeah, it's probably less than 2 liters, that pot. Yeah.
Okay.
It's just the pot I've been always using. Yeah, I go by feel.
I mean,
I
hate that.
Grab herbs.
I'm sure you have other dried herbs other than the kidney tea, right? In your home?
Yeah, but I haven't been using them. I guess that's maybe why I haven't been enjoying it.
Cinnamon.
But now
you can put
cinnamon's
cloves,
nice. Cinnamon's stick.
Yeah. Cardamom.
Star anise. Anise.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna give us a nice flavor. Or fennel if you can get fennel.
Okay. I'll have to try that.
Yeah, there are so many different things you can put. Anything that comes to your mind, you have at home.
Okay, because I just make I make 2 cups in one batch. It's just me obviously doing it. So I make 2 cups. So I have mine immediately and I drink it hot. I have 1 cup and then I save a cup for the evening and then I just reheat it. But I typically will pour it out of the pan. I live in Florida and I've noticed that it seems like it's fermenting a little bit if I leave it out, and I don't have that. And maybe if I refrigerate it, it wouldn't, but it goes pretty bad.
Yeah, if it's too hot.
Do you boil it every time?
Well, I boil 2 cups, I'll make 2 cups in the morning and it boils. And then I drink 1 cup and then in the afternoon, I just heat up the other cup. I don't necessarily, it probably comes to a boil, but, I don't cook it again with the herbs. I just heat it up and then add the tinctures.
Yeah, I would put it in a pot because it will allow things to infuse better, right? It becomes very dark. I mean, it looks like coffee when you make it. Yeah, it looks
I
very
put a lot of herbs.
He puts a lot of herbs. So it does, and it's almost with the tinctures as well. It does taste like strong, like coffee almost. And with the maple syrup, it's amazing. It really is very tasty.
How long have you been drinking it?
The tea? I did 9 days and then now I'm on day 34 as well. Hi, Robbie, my twin, my MFS twin.
Hi.
Okay, because most people start acquiring taste as their GI tract starts cleaning out. There's the odd person here and there that has more of a challenge with herbs than others, but put more love into it.
I'm sure if you try his, you will fall in love with it.
Yeah, I'll play with it more. I mean, I love tea in general. I love black coffee. I love every kind of tea I've ever tried except for this one.
Yeah, I would not. I would add lots of things to the tea, not just the kidney herbs. I would add lots of things.
Okay.
Yeah.
I also wanted to ask a question. This week I kind of had an event that racked my nerves, and then I felt really shaken. I have weak adrenals, and I could just feel it that I was fine mentally, but physically I could feel I was shot. And I had used a heating pad all day at work, and I felt a lot better. And then I used it again the next day, and then I started feeling like burning in my lower back, and I thought it was maybe I had the heating pad on too long and I burnt myself. And then I Googled people burning themselves with heating pads because I kind of had it pushed in. I had a little lumbar support thing pushing it forward. Mm-hmm. So I thought I had burned myself, but there's no visible damage to the skin, but it feels so hot. It feels like it's radiating heat, and I can't have anything touching my lower back. But then it scared me because Robert Morse has some videos, and I didn't realize you feel your kidneys that far low. I guess he's saying you feel it low back. I thought your kidneys you would feel mid back. So is this my kidneys burning?
Mid back, high back. It's all for the kidneys.
So now I'm a little bit worried. Is this my kidneys burning because I'm still not filtering?
I wouldn't be using electric hot heating pads myself.
Yeah, I'm done with it now, just in case. I don't know if it's nerve damage. I don't know what it is, but lots and lots of burning.
I've used so many. I've slept with them so many nights.
Hot water bottle if you want heat, but castor oil packs. Drive in the castor oil. Do those 3 days on, 3 days off, 3 days on, 3 days off. Massage them deeply with a burnt stick every day.
Did you do the castor oil with the heat pad or just heat
I
pad?
just got it on Amazon and I haven't used it yet. I was at work and someone has like one at work that I was just borrowing. So, you know, it shuts off, but I had it on the maximum and I had it on pretty much, I work, you know, an 8-hour shift. So, but I'm up and down, but I had it on most of the day.
Yeah, it's fine.
I mean, I feel like I'm fine, but I still have tons of burning. So then I keep hearing this keeps coming up in my feed about your kidneys being your lower back and you saying that, you know, you'd burned out your kidneys. And I was searching through the group for something about kidneys or I don't know, but I came across an old post that you had done, Gina, that said, someone asked, how do you know if you're burning out your kidneys? And you said, oh, you know it, it's burning. I've been burning for days. So now I'm a little worried. Am I burning out my kidneys?
It's not the heat, that's for sure.
Well, it's not the heat, but I am, you know, I'm on day 34. So I'm, you know, I'm sure that there's a lot of waste building up. If my kidneys aren't filtering, where does that waste go?
Yeah, well, the body's going to expel it in many ways, not just through the kidneys, through the skin, through the bowels, through the breath. There's many eliminated organs in our body, right? So, you know, that's why your skin,
lymph, right? So,
yeah. Your skin brushing, you're doing all the things, you're washing until the kidneys start opening up and start expelling that way. And some people take some days, some people weeks, some people take some months. It took me, I can't remember now, it was over a year to get my kidneys to filter. I'm going, what's going on, man? You know, and so, you know, a master fast, we've seen most people, you know, being able to get them opened up within a month or two. Most people. Some people a little longer, but few. So just keep massaging them very deeply as much as you can.
I don't even know where they are because I can't feel them.
Go on
I mean, I think I know where they are, but then I'm feeling burning in the lower back. So I'm like, I know kind of.
It's right underneath the bottom ribs. So if you put your thumbs under the bottom ribs in your back, you know, you'll be able to feel your kidneys. You'll know when you put your thumbs in there.
Yeah, if you push hard, you'll feel some pain.
So you can massage them as deep as you can with the stick. You jab it in, and you go clockwise, go into it, you know, kind of on a 45 degree and up into the kidney, under the rib, under the last rib. It'll be right there on each side of the spine, and just dig it in. It's just slightly uncomfortable. You don't want to have too much pain. You want to open it up and move it around. It's like a massage, just moving things around. And see if that can help you out. And what's your dry fast schedule?
I've just been doing the weeklies. I'm trying to go as long as I can now. I started at 2 o'clock and I'm hoping to stay dry tomorrow.
Have you done a 3-day?
No, this is kind of my longest. I've just done 24s.
And every day you're having 12-hour drive?
Yeah.
Yeah. What was the longest drive you've done?
24.
That's the longest? Okay. Well, you know, we encourage people to, if they can't do, you know, 3 days fully dry, do semi-dry. After you've done maximum you can handle dry, and extend it with some semi-dry, you know, doing ounce shots of tea and alternate with juice every hour or so. See if that helps you push further in the dry, because the dry is where all the magic happens, but we're not going to force ourselves. So we'll train ourselves to get there. And we've had people that could barely do a 24-hour dry, and now they're able to do 3 days, 4 days dry after a year of training their body. So, you know, it's going to take whatever it takes. Kidneys are, you know, have their own free will. You got to nurture them. You got to love them. And you got to be in charge of them.
And when you burnt your kidneys, that was because...
Yeah, but that
was something else.
I did that in my first 40-day fast with Concord grape juice and nothing else. And I had black tar coming out me for most of those 40 days. And it was not pleasant. No tools, no nothing, just to, you know, cook grape juice.
And when you broke it, you didn't eat fruit, did you?
I was, yeah, I didn't break it properly, many things.
Yeah, he didn't know that 28 years ago.
I did a lot of damage back then. You know, it took me a couple of years to get out of that one. With what we're all doing now, I haven't seen anybody get into anywhere near. No, you can't even compare it to what I went through. Yeah, some people have healing reactions, but we have all the tools now to pull people through and get out of it. A few people that went on their own, doing their own things, thinking it's a juice fast, trying to do stupid things like I did back then, they got themselves in trouble. And I had to help a couple of them, you know. And I'm not into that. If you want to do juice fast, there's lots of places you can do juice fast. This is why we're focusing on a system and a lifestyle, the art of subtraction, working with all the tools, and getting the body to get rid of all the things that the body is loosening up through the fast, because that's the challenge, to get it out. Once the fast puts it into suspension, the key is to get it out. And when the organs and glands are all closed up and plugged up and the energy is not flowing, that's the challenge. And this is where we shine with the information that Master Fast is sharing to help people move it out. It's going to be more challenging for some people than others. There's emotions involved, and et cetera, et cetera. But eventually, as you keep going, you're going to know how to respond to certain things and how to trust and keep going. It's all going to happen. It's just a matter of time and when the body's ready to expel. But the dry fast is where all the magic happens, when the GI tract is clean. So we train ourselves to extend the dry fast according to the schedule, you know, the daily, 12, 24 weekly, and the 3 days monthly. Like I said, if you can't do dry, go into the semi-dry and try to extend it and break it properly, start it properly, you know, and everything's fine. It's just a process, and we keep going. Robbie, I think I'm filtering a little. I didn't check last 24-hour dry. I'll check next time. I definitely improved from the first time I did 24-hour. Does the burn stick need to be in contact with the skin? No, it doesn't have to be. You can do it over clothes or anything. And when you pee in a jar or whatever, put it in the freezer. See if you see filtering after you put it in the freezer.
For how long?
You know, a few hours. You should see if there's anything in there that'll settle out quicker with the cold. So that's another thing. Some people, sometimes they see that they're not filtering, but we've learned that if you put it in cold, we do that with GANs to settle it quicker. It comes out a solution much quicker in the cold. So you may be filtering, but you're not seeing it. Because if your kidneys are not filtering at all, you won't be around too much long. In a few hours, you'll be dead. So there's got to be some filtering. It's just how much.
Okay.
But when I started going into long dries is when my kidneys went bang and they opened up and all kinds of stuff going, holy geez, what's going on? And that's where I started resolving all my big challenges I've had with my kidneys for all these years, which I couldn't resolve. All the raw foods and all the juice fasts and everything. It's you know, the master fast with the dry fasting is when things started changing big time for my kidneys.
How often should you check it, your filtration?
Check it every few days, but if you're on a dry fast, you may want to check it every day, see how it's going. But after a while, when you go to the bathroom to urinate, you're gonna know if you're filtering. It's a certain feeling you get. Like already from the feeling, I'll know if it's a good filtering or not from the feeling. You learn after you've checked it for so many times. You'll learn. You'll know. Even when you're in the bathroom, for women, it's a bit different. But as the stream's going in, you can see if it's a good filter. The way it acts in the water. So it's just a learning thing. Don't get too fussy over it. Just nurture them and do the things and allow the process to take place, and it will.
Yeah, I wouldn't be concerned about that. Just fast and make it a lifestyle. Yeah.
Okay.
It will happen when it's ready. Yeah.
around you. The 3 days dries are amazing on the filter and everything comes out. Yeah, it's it. Wait till you get into the 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 days and so in the future. Robbie, what is the best way to use GANs? I have a small general calcium water. Best way to use GANs. There's so many ways you can use GANs. It's limited only to your imagination. Since you have some, start using the liquid plasma, which is the water. Put drops in your tea. Put in your juice. Spray it on your clothes, in your washing machine, on your bed, on your plants.
Put small bottles all over your house.
Yeah, put different size bottles of the water all over the house so you have energies transferring all over the place. It's really limited to the imagination. Breathing in the fields, it's another way. A cheaper way is with a bong type of pipe that they use for smoking dope and stuff. You can put GANs water and inhale it that way. A better way would be to inhale it through the nose, so you'd need a mask and do it that way, because we should be breathing through our nose, not through our mouth, nasal breathing. So these are some of the few. You can put it in your enemas.
Pain pads.
Pain pads. Lots of ways. The good site to help with more of the details of the plasma is Golden Age of GANs on Facebook, and that's good information that you can get. And there's tons and tons of videos. It's so overwhelming because there's just too much information. You're going to finish 108 days on 5-day dry fast. Okay, awesome. Be careful. All is well. Embrace what happens. Be careful breaking it. Very careful. Very slowly. And everything will be well. So we come to 3 hours, folks. We've done a marathon. So let's wrap it up. It's going to be too long for people. Even if you play it at 150 speed, that's that's what I do with videos, because it's just not enough time. It's an hour and a half, right? Okay, so thank you so much for keeping us inspired and joining us. It's awesome. Keep that love flowing. We'll see you back on the page.
Night, everybody. Love you.
Love you.
So much.
Love you.
Keep that positive love flowing. Thank you so much. Ciao, ciao.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night. Good day.
Bye.
Wherever you are.
I love you, Rana.
Love you too.